But do you condemn Hamas?
Do you?
But do you condemn Hamas?
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 But do you condemn Hamas? I prefer queso dip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I actually don't.
I do
cheese
condemn
makes the belly
hummus.
rumble. What
Really?
can I say? Can't wait for Gavin Newsom to rail two dudes on national television. That's a crazy way to start this off. That's a crazy, unforgivable thing to say right at the jump.
There's no more fitting way to start the stream.
Truly.
Truly.
How-
The most hype stream, might I argue.
Yeah, this is, we've talked about previous debates that we've covered live being wastes of time because Trump's going to win anyway. But out of all of them that we've covered live with you all, this might be the biggest waste of time.
Exactly.
But we're here with you all. So how could we be wasting time? Hardly call it wasting.
But we're gonna have so much fun.
Yes.
I mean, as my favorite entrepreneur would say, when I was really young, I used to read a lot of German philosophers, and it made me really depressed. And I just started wondering what the meaning of life is. That philosopher, Elon Musk, at the Tesla Forum this week, or whatever the fuck the event was.
But before we get there, you know what we have to do. I hope you all saw the news. I'm pulling up a picture right now. We're going to cut over. He's dead.
A moment of silence.
He was a fucking kid.
Please.
He was a child.
Moment of silence.
If you don't know who this guy is, it's Henry Kissinger. He was an actual demon. He killed hundreds of thousands of people, worked for he was the Secretary of State under Richard Nixon, I believe.
And some Ford?
I think National Security Advisor under Ford. I might have it backwards. Either way, he killed so many people. Laos, Cambodia, Chile, and so on.
Responsible for
Very bad.
Christmas bombings.
Yes.
Like 350,000 people in Laos or Cambodia or something like that.
Yeah, no, he's an actual demon, but now he is really a demon. Because he's in hell. He's in hell. He's no longer alive. Crab song, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So this is good. This is great news.
This happened, guys.
Mm-hmm. This is personal good news for me. Yeah.
Moment of silence, please. Rest.
He was simply just a child. I don't know how we're gonna move on now.
Damn.
I know, and it's like this guy obviously a demon. He worked for Republicans, but there are also like tons of liberals that were like, yeah, he was the man.
Hillary Clinton Obama invited him to the White House.
Yes,
didn't he?
Joe Biden didn't, but that doesn't mean Joe Biden's necessarily like an anti Henry Kissinger. I'm sure he bid him a bon voyage. Not like they'll be apart for very long, but still. Yeah, no, Chile suffered a lot. He was not even complicit. He directly orchestrated a coup of the democratically elected leader, socialist leader, I believe.
Anthony Bourdain did say it best, said something like, if you've ever been to Cambodia, you'll probably want to beat him to death with your hands.
You won't understand how he's not in The Hague.
God.
Yeah, no, he's an actual demon, but he's dead now, so he's with his own kind. Oh my God, the heretic. Thank you so much. Yeah, smoking on that bozo.
100% smoking that warm crime pack.
Absolute worst.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, that's some good news to start us off. So we've got a couple things to do tonight before we get into the wonderful debate that starts at 9 o'clock. Fox News made us sign into cable, by the way.
That's what what the
fuck? What are we talking about? Yeah,
it almost threw the whole flow off.
Yeah,
we were about to have to subscribe to a free trial to like Fubo TV.
Yeah, no, but we got it done though, so don't worry. We'll still be
every time.
We'll be able to watch live, everybody, all at once. Make sure to share the live stream with your friends, of course. Give it a like, send it around. We appreciate the support as always.
Yeah.
And I also think this is completely unrelated, but Elon Musk. We haven't talked about him in a while.
We have not.
Elon Musk recently, as you alluded to, what was this? Just some interview?
I don't. Functionally, that's what it was to me. I don't know exactly what it was because being interviewed by an MSNBC guy, I think, or it was streamed on MSNBC, and really it was just a Glaze session.
Yes.
And he somehow managed to fuck it up. Like he went in, interviewers just going nuts on him.
Yeah.
Just backflips on it the whole time, and he still managed to come out unlikable. Reach new lows.
Yeah. So as you all know, Elon Musk is losing a lot of advertisers off of Twitter. And I figured before we actually start talking about like California, Florida, we can do some quick cringe because I couldn't make it all the way through this clip earlier. So maybe we can do it together. Let me bring it over. I don't know if you guys saw this. The way this was presented to me on Twitter was like, I can't believe Elon Musk owned this guy.
Yes,
and
that's
owned
what End
Disney
Wokeness said.
Corporation. Yeah,
I had seen End Wokeness's thing was like, well, why would we want Disney advertising on this platform anyway? They're child predators.
All right, let's take a listen, guys.
Now, obviously, you know that there's a public perception that, and you're clarifying this now, but there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
He just keeps looking at the crowd.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
He doesn't know what to say. Bro is just 1,000 yards staring into the crowd, looking for any amount of validation. This is extreme insecurity on full display. It's so awful.
Absolutely stun locked as well. Like
I can't confirm this, but rumor has it that these dog tags are from the IDF.
Because he just went to Israel.
Yeah.
He went and visited Israel and got like a tour of the spots Hamas attacked on October 7th with Bibi himself.
So he did he did anti-Semitism on Twitter. He did the white genocide rhetoric on Twitter, or endorsed it with his comments. And then he's coming on here and saying like, oh, well, I didn't mean it. And he's like, wearing the IDF dog tags.
Saying advertisers pulling out of your company is personally blackmailing you is fucking insane. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what happened to the free market?
What's going on? They just don't want to associate.
Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. If you're in the audience.
So bad.
Well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about the economics of X? If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising.
Giving him the answer.
If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
F-Y.
God, it's so bad.
I understand that, but there's a reality
He gave you a layup. It was right there.
Right?
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda Yaccarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
That's the CEO.
So, totally. So no.
Oh, it's a New York Times.
What this advertising boycott is going to do? It's going to kill the company.
And do you think that?
And the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
Bro thinks he's a martyr.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say
it's so bad.
He genuinely thinks he's a free speech martyr.
Yeah, no,
it's insane.
Like, it's what Alexander put in the chat, right? It's like he will blame all of the companies for Twitter failing. He'll blame the activists. He'll blame the leftists. He'll blame Democrats. Anybody but himself to accept responsibility for what's happening, when it's clearly advertisers pulled out because they were worried about being seen as associated with him who is endorsing Nazi rhetoric. Like, that's all it is.
And it's like there was a comment he made earlier in this like same interview where he was talking about like the interviewer brought up how people had complained about how they feel like they're getting posts pushed from another side that they've never agreed with before. And Elon's like, well, you're interacting with them. We had never interacted with Bridget fucking Gabriel before. And there was like 2 months where she was just all over our posts. I could not get away from her. It's insane.
And it's not even just what he did recently. Like for ever since he bought the platform, he's just been commenting under Nazis' posts like, interesting, looking into this.
Great point.
Like someone will be like, yeah, maybe Jewish people do control the world. And he's like, interesting. Like, what are we talking about?
Something to consider.
Like, obviously, people are pulling out their advertising spots, their advertising buys from Twitter because they don't want to be like it's literally capitalism 101.
I think Apple pulled out too. And weren't they like one
Apple's
of the largest advertisers on the app, if not the largest?
Apple, IBM, a bunch of other companies pulled out as well. Like, it's bad. And he's admitting here that they're going to fail. Elon Musk is saying that, like, Twitter's going to collapse. And I don't know. He's treating it as though there's going to be some like massive retribution that like people are going to fight back and support him. And it's like, dog, you too are just rich. Why would people fight on your behalf? What are we talking about?
It's good, man. It's good. And you know, GFY.
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 We love you too, Jackson Taylor.
We can't not finish our first clip of the night, though.
That's true. That's true.
They're going to say, we didn't kill the company.
Oh, yeah?
They're going to say...
Tell it to Earth.
They're going to say, Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things and that they were inappropriate things and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform, right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
Okay, this
like that's one where I can't even begin to, because like the go fuck yourself for pulling out thing, oh yeah, people will remember this, like sure, I can do some gymnastics to understand why he thinks that, but tell the Earth.
Yeah, tell Earth. Again, like there's going to be some massive retribution. Like people are going to fight back on behalf of Twitter because it's this great town hall, this beacon of free speech that we need to uphold.
Well, yeah, Mother Nature will fight back.
It's just a company. It's literally just a company.
Mother Nature will fight back, and hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Like this is what's going to happen if Apple pulls out of Twitter, continues to pull out of Twitter.
Yeah, so that was some insane cope. Pretty incoherent, and I think it's just insecurity. I legitimately at this point think Elon Musk is just an idiot.
Oh, he's
kind of fumbled
insane.
his way into billions. Not not as if he had a hard time getting that done, given where he started. But yeah,
there was a while like earlier on in the interview where he was doing the thing that I did in the beginning. He said, "Yeah, when I was a teenager, I'd read the German philosophers, the Chopin and the Nietzsche, and it made me very depressed, and I started searching for the meaning of life."
He also called himself an anarcho-syndicalist one time, which is a variant of communist, which is just like,
so cool.
No, you're not. It's not true. Anyways, I think that's enough Elon Musk and enough cringing. Shall we move on to creating our bingo card for this debate?
I think we should. Now this one, folks, I think is going to be a bit of a wild card.
You think so?
I don't know if we can hit on necessarily the same muses that we fell upon last time. You know what I mean? We can't hit on the drill, frack, burn.
That's right.
There's no Vivek around. I don't think we can hit on invade Mexico. I don't think that's
You think we get
happen.
a boot mention? A boot mention would be crazy.
Would it? I mean,
would it be like out of the realm of possibility though?
No, I don't think so.
So here's our bingo card: DeSantis versus Newsom. This is obviously a wild card debate. You know what I mean? This is like shouldn't happen, wasn't supposed to happen, but it's happening. So we got to make a bingo card for it.
Oh, you think we get a comment? You think we get a comment from Newsom about how DeSantis literally has no chance, and that it's just a race for second, and he might not even get second?
That feels like something he could say for sure. Yes, we already talked about the president of Argentina, by the way, in the most recent episode.
Yes,
just went up on Wednesday, but you can't go watch it right now.
Yeah, please don't. Please stop.
And yeah, the debate's an hour and a half long. Hopefully, there will be like breaks every 30 minutes.
Yeah, because it's a 2 hour. It's slotted for 2 hours.
But I think Sean Hannity's going to do his yapping. From the articles I read, Sean Hannity wants this to be like a red state versus blue state on full display kind of thing.
Nice. You think
I don't think that's what it's going to be though.
No, definitely. You think he's going to yap in the beginning just to poison the well?
Yeah, probably.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's what I think, and I think Gavin Newsom knows that for sure. Homelander smile, but does he even need to do the Homelander smile? I'm hoping the setup is straight up just like the three of them sitting in a triangle in chairs.
Yeah, you know those
you know what I mean?
Those like Hollywood Reporter videos that come out every year around like the Oscars, where it's like the directors round table and they're talking about whatever movie they made that year. I hope it's that, but with them, with the fucking fancy lighting in the background and everything, and they're looking at each other. And I hope it's an intimate setting, to say the least.
So
San Francisco hellscape, yeah. The looting, maybe. DeSantis glazing Hannity.
Man.
Random abortion story. I don't know about that one, but I think we can count on a DeSantis anecdote that's probably not real.
It'll be an anecdote about California, I bet.
Yeah. You know, I know someone in California who survived a post-birth abortion and then lived to tell the story.
You know, the crazy thing about God.
Boot mention from
I mean, I'm being paid to say it.
Well, we have to. These are our donors.
The crazy thing about this is we mentioned on the show, this is taking place in Georgia, right? A swing state now. Yeah. But again, Gavin Newsom not running for president.
Neither of these people will be on the ticket.
It's so crazy.
There's not a snowball's chance in hell.
So DeSantis, that's a California anecdote. We got to put Bootgate now.
Bootgate 100%. Guys, what do we? DeSantis anecdote? Yeah, CA anecdote. You think we get see the wild card here? I guess would be Newsom. What are we gonna get out of this California man?
I feel like it'll just be regular run of the mill like liberal talking points. He's definitely going to get into like the misconceptions around the red state versus blue state stuff, because it's always like, oh my god, thank you so much.
My goodness, did you guys see that HRES 888 means we as leftists are all anti-Semites?
Is it like the House of Representatives said being pro-Palestine is anti-Semitic?
Well, no, you misunderstood. They're just condemning Hamas.
Oh, true.
Yeah, they're just condemning Hamas. R.I.P. Dan Feinstein.
Well, real quick, in chat, could I just get a spammed condemn Hamas? I just need to make sure you guys condemn Hamas.
I gotta make sure everybody coming in here knows what's going on.
Yeah, do you guys condemn Hamas? Just let me know in chat. Just with a smooth I condemn Hamas, just to make sure. Just get that out of the way. Please, now.
A clear word, hand over your heart, hand on the Bible, the one true book.
Just a quick condemn Hamas, that's all I need.
Yes. Oh, fuck, homelessness. There's going to be if this is a red state, blue state thing, we're getting a homelessness thing, and we're getting a myriad of topics on crime. What were the big things? It was the economy, the border, and what else?
I think crime, yeah.
Crime, hell yeah, I love crime.
Homelessness.
Chicago crime, right? Yeah, they're going to try to, both of them are going to try to make Gavin Newsom answer for like things that are not in his control.
Everyone's condemning Hamas. I love to see it.
Hell yeah. I condemn them so much, Alexander. Thank you.
I feel like if I was Newsom, the main things I would focus on. See, it's hard when it comes to this kind of debate because first of all, again, it's already irrelevant, right? None of this matters. So there's already that, but parse that out. Say that it was just like a fun thing that we're doing and we don't care about the relevance of any of it. When people talk about California versus Florida or California versus Texas or New York versus Texas or whatever, it's really easy to just cherry pick data points while attempting to seem as though you're just objectively analyzing the conditions of each state. You know what I mean? Like if I looked at Florida and California and tried to compare them and just said like, oh, well, look, the homelessness rate is higher in California and the poverty rate is higher in California and illiteracy rates are higher in California, then you could just easily, by picking whatever categories you want, you could just declare that California is worse.
Yeah. But it's also, I think Florida has some of the worst literacy in the country.
Well, Florida's bad on all kinds of things, right?
Everything, really.
Gun violence is always going to be a problem for any red state compared to a blue state. We talk about like maternal mortality rates, infant mortality rates, drug abuse, and any other number of things, right? Like, and I could do this for Florida, trying to make Florida seem bad.
Yeah.
I think the more important piece and the better piece of analysis is to admit what we're looking for, recognize that we're trying to make value-based judgments, admit that we're making normative claims, and then decide which state is the better one, which is clearly going to be California in this case, because they're protecting abortion rights, they're not actively persecuting LGBTQ people, they're not doing book bans, and any other number of things. California has its issues, though. Homelessness is a real problem.
Yes.
It suffers from all of the problems that any other state would suffer from under capitalism, but ultimately, I hate this like faux objective exercise that everyone pretends is like, whoa, well, I'm just trying to compare this red state and this blue state on the facts. No, you're not. You're creating a narrative. Just admit you're creating a narrative. Everyone is.
No, Aiden Taylor, that's a phenomenal point that I was going to bring up. Something is going to be mentioned. Like either Ron himself is going to say Florida's a border state, or Gavin is going to call him out on it. Like that, I think so. Because they're going to hit on Florida's a border. Florida is a border state, and sanctuary cities in California.
Sanctuary cities is absolutely coming up.
That was huge.
California leads the country in illiteracy. I'm guessing. I mean, they have more people.
Really?
As I'm guessing the problem.
Also, like per capita,
there's bad. There's a lot of bad inequality. I think inequality is pretty rough in California, but again, anywhere where there's lots of cities where there's lots of people, inequality is going to be bad because of capitalism as an economic system. It's just how it's not necessarily a red state, blue state thing. Kids. See, so, okay, getting back on topic, back in focus. Immigration is going to be a main concern. We could probably distill it down into a couple of spots.
I'm thinking sanctuary cities for sure. Froggy Gumdrop. I met DeSantis at work a couple years ago, and he is the least charismatic person ever. His presence is so off-putting. I've been saying this.
Do we think
Florida is number 3 in illiteracy? There we go.
This is a Hail Mary here.
Thank you, Donovan.
Do we think that he links sanctuary cities, DeSantis, links California's status as like a sanctuary state to Hamas coming into the country?
Dude, hell yeah.
Like you say you're a sanctuary city, but really you're just a sanctuary for Hamas.
Dude, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That would be so cool.
It's got to be with Hamas, though. Otherwise, we don't get this one.
That's true. Yeah, the two have to be coupled. They have to be married. They have to be married.
Come on, that'd be so sick. Come on. That'd be awesome.
Do we have high heels on here?
I got Bootgate, yeah.
Okay, good. The people have been clamoring.
High heels and Bootgate are the same thing.
Fentanyl? Fent?
Oh, we're getting Fent.
Fent, hell yeah.
We're getting Fent. Real problem, but not one that anyone seems to have a solution
real
for.
problem, but not in the way that conservatives bring it up.
Yeah. Make Fent real big, just like I like it.
Hella states competing for number one in illiteracy, I'm finding out.
I think illiteracy is kind of a problem in the U.S.,
it is,
if I'm not wrong.
Isn't it like a significant portion of the population is illiterate?
Yeah.
Something like the 25-30% or some shit like that.
And that's the other thing when it comes to like judging states based off these statistics is like, where do you draw the line at illiterate? Where do you draw the line at impoverished? How do you classify
$1.25 a day?
Yeah, right. Well, no, exactly.
The real
right.
ones know.
Like what below what grade level is illiteracy? It's hard to tell what cutoffs are being used.
Yes. If you're such a sanctuary, why is there so much crime?
Ron force feeds Newsom torture on screen. That'd be sick. That'd be so sick.
Man, I'm feeling thrown off. Really,
I don't see. Okay, if I'm DeSantis, I'm hammering home on crime. Even though crime is a problem in Florida because it's a big state and crime's always going to be a problem.
Crime, sanctuary cities, and homelessness.
Yes,
those are like the California things that people attack them for. Someone earlier said California. Maybe
California, yeah,
that's a good one.
The amount of people who don't speak English. Yeah, that's a good point too. I didn't think of that, Brandon.
And homophobia.
Maybe COVID lockdowns. Maybe that'll be one.
Oh, COVID lockdowns are one. That's his thing.
Because he's going to be like, you kept California locked down for 8 years. I kept
Florida open. You closed down California. The people want their haircuts.
Wait, is this going to... I wish I knew the format. Like, if it's going to be on stage, just like the GOP debates, then I feel like I could predict a couple of things. But if it's just like sitting down, speaking face to face...
You think they're like on a couch? Yeah, imagine that they're just on one couch. All three of them. All three of them. They're sitting on a couch. It's
actually the initial podcast setup that we had.
That's
like, what they're doing. The first setup. They got the table with the Star Wars poster.
With the metal chairs. The Star Wars poster hiding the cords.
Yeah.
Real ones, no. Come on, no.
That was our setup for like, what, the first 20 episodes or something like that? Real ones, no.
About the assault in the closed-door Republican meeting?
Yeah, so I did see that a Ron DeSantis staffer just like died the other day in the building.
What?
His like election integrity guy or whatever left a meeting in a rush and then died in the hallway.
He certainly was rushing.
That's how I'm trying to go.
He really...
So he heard the news that Henry Kissinger died.
He wasn't lying when he said, I gotta go.
The Chapo boys talked about it.
Holy shit, that's insane.
Actually, I think it was, Brace from TrueAnon?
Yeah.
He was like, maybe this guy like came to consciousness. Like he finally realized all the evil he's been doing. And all of his cells just like destroyed themselves.
That's so fucking bad. Oh my God.
Anyways, enough talking about dead people. I don't want to be haunted forever.
Antifa, maybe, possibly. I feel like that one's a shot. Antifa doesn't have the same weight it did 4 years ago.
I could see him bringing up like critical race theory, BLM though.
BLM CRT?
BLM CRT, yeah. Huh. It's so hard to predict. You never know because it's so not real.
Yeah, no, it's all fake. It doesn't matter. Bro died, Matt. That's insane.
What?
The staffer.
He's thrown out of a meeting. Yeah. It's crazy.
Holy shit. R.I.P. my man.
Bro's all his body just shut down.
I hope they bring Nikki out. Did you see Nikki got an endorsement from the Koch brothers?
Yeah, she's getting like $20 million into her super PAC. That's nuts.
It's nuts, and it's also money wasted because it's like Kari Lake is going to be the VP. We've been saying this.
Maybe they think that she has more of a chance than DeSantis, but I think she just launched her first TV ad for Iowa.
The primaries are in 6 weeks. Shit is in 6 weeks. What are we doing?
Yeah. Oh, thank you so
Taylor,
much,
$4.99. Long shot. Mention a Florida Republican chairhead being charged with sexual assault.
I did not see that.
I didn't see that.
Oh, I'll put it in.
Every accusation is a confession. We've been saying this.
Yeah.
Holy shit. First Moms for Liberty, now them. The California Exodus.
Oh,
That's gonna get brought up for sure. Because the big thing is like what people were leaving California to go to Texas and Florida. That was the claim.
Yeah.
Florida secret election. Police.
Wasn't Donald Trump the one that said a while ago like Florida's worse on like cost of living after you minus income? It's worse for like healthcare, worse for education, worse for X, Y, and Z.
I don't know if it's Trump, but I think it was NBC published an article like however many months to a year ago saying that Florida's the most expensive place to live relative to cost of living.
That's so sick. Gotta love these red states, people.
That's what I'm saying. Donovan, it'd be great if you could back me up on that one.
Yeah, Donovan, back us up.
Yeah, Donovan.
All right, what woke? See, okay, I was thinking we put woke in there, but at the same time, I feel like they haven't been talking about woke like at all. You know what I mean?
They really did. We barely scraped by in the debates. Truly. Newsom met with Xi Jinping.
I didn't hear about that either, but I know there was something going on with China. I'll put it in here.
What? Is this the same trip where Joe Biden fucked his wife?
That's so sick. That's what American leaders should be doing.
Yeah.
Income taxes is definitely getting brought up.
Oh, gas prices. That's another great one.
Gas prices. Because Gavin Newsom controls gas prices.
Of course. As a Floridian, cost of living definitely sucks here. God damn, and meeting DeSantis. Ugh.
Cost of living sucks everywhere unless you're in like bumfuck West Virginia.
Facts.
Then nothing.
The cost of living still sucks. You can't afford it.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're not making any money.
There.
Woke is the free space. All right, we'll put woke in the middle. If you guys,
I guess the people demanded it.
If you're so confident, I'll put it in the middle.
San Francisco hosted Biden's meeting with the China PM. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they sure did. They hosted the hell out of that.
Trans people brought up. I don't know. It's crime, immigration, and what the fuck else?
I don't know.
The economy. Crime, immigration, and the economy.
Okay.
Maybe. I've been so disappointed with the lack of culture war that I don't want to put my chips in that basket right now.
It's like they recognize that it's just not popular and it's losing them elections because they went hard for the midterms on like trans people.
Uh-huh.
And now they've backed up. Not that they are like nice to trans people or anything, but they don't bring it up as much. Yeah. Oh yeah. Gun control. I wanted to add that in too.
Oh my God. Classic Democrat policy.
Gun violence is much worse in Florida if I remember the stats correctly.
Pandas?
Which makes sense.
What is that about? Parental rights? Could be.
Parental rights? Oh yeah, we could get a parental rights mention.
That's like his thing.
Yeah.
He's got to drop that bar.
If he doesn't, who will? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should put a space for like Sean Hannity saves DeSantis from having to answer something.
LGBT strays is a good one. Newsom blasts the Don't Say Gay bill. See,
there's a lot to blast from the Florida legislature.
Yeah, I just don't think they'll be talking about it that much.
Do they bring up Ukraine or is that old news? I think DeSantis trying to take a position on Ukraine is tough for him because he appeals to like the Nazis, and the Nazis don't want him to be pro-Ukraine. But also, a lot of Americans are pro-Ukraine in terms of like helping Ukraine, right? So it's a hard position for him to take.
Do we have Bouquet in 2 spots?
Do I? Oh, I just copied this to put something else.
Fuck. See,
we'll edit this one.
The thing about Ukraine is it's like I don't even necessarily know if they're gonna mention Israel that hard.
Right, because it's like you'd think they're debating domestic and state policy, right?
Yeah, but I mean, at the third debate, they talked about Israel. They talked about Israel less than I thought they would.
Israel mentioned for rising anti-Semitism, yeah. Yeah, I could see. Well, because like to be clear, Gavin Newsom is not pro-Palestine. Like I don't from what I know of him and liberals in this country, he's not out here like river to the sea. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not saying that. But I could see DeSantis trying to paint him as anti-Semitic for not saying, I don't know, like Gaza should be turned into a moon crater or something.
Income tax. DeSantis.
3 boot gates?
Yes, 3 boot gates.
Oh my God, I'm so silly.
We're signing off. I can't do this.
It's been a long week.
Social Security. I don't think they mentioned Social Security. Fuck. There was something that I was cooking up in my brain until I got thrown off. We'll have to see if I can come back to it. The 3 bouquets really fucked me.
What I do is I
bouquet.
copy
Guys,
paste
stop.
and I try to
Stop. Bouquet. God, what the fuck else goes on between these two? I'm just
just a boy.
I'm just a boy. What if gruesome Newsom's come out of nowhere with pro-Palestine rhetoric? I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, he comes out. I'm fighting for the liberation of the Palestinian people.
You bet. Honestly, Hannity will come out there like, fellas, to get this started off, I'd just like to say we all 3 of us here do not support a ceasefire, correct? And their hands will shoot up. Like,
and he's like, in fact, I don't even condemn Hamas. Gavin Newsom enlists with Hamas.
In fact, I don't even condemn Hamas because he's very pro-Bibi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't condemn Hamas because I support everything Bibi Netanyahu has done,
right.
including fund to Hamas.
Let that one cook for a minute.
If you condemn Hamas, you're condemning Bibi Netanyahu.
Who am I? Who am I to
Think
condemn the
about
strong
that.
man in Israel?
It's actually illegal to say Christmas, yeah.
Job growth.
Oh, Disney? You think Newsom brings up Disney? Disney was a big thing.
If they're talking
for-
about the
for
economy,
DeSantis.
yeah, I think he'll bring up.
What
a great point, Nico.
Right, because Disney World, Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
California, Florida? Or other way around? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, Disneyland, California, Disney World, Florida. Shot in the dark, but it gets physical. I wish it got physical, you know what I'm saying?
Your cameras cut away and they
I
fight.
fucking wish it got physical.
Yeah, I wish it was just a contest of physical power.
Do we not have crime?
Crime.
Crime in blue states? Democrat-run cities, alternatively.
Democrat-run cities, Democrat-run states.
Oh, yes. The ties come off for a throwdown. I hope the ties come off.
Bro, chill.
Oh, my God.
Relax.
Oh, my God. I swear to God, if this debate is annoying, I'm logging into Crunchyroll, bro. I have not watched the Jujutsu Kaisen episode yet.
Labor unions?
Crimefornia.
What if they what if they do? Sexual tensions get too strong. So true.
Florida man in heels. They make out. They kiss. They make up. Come on now.
They do.
Come on now.
I could see it happening. I could.
We need governors. I want them to duel. Writing fanfic about these two as we speak. Tag us, please.
Will the stream be on YouTube? Yeah, we're going to be watching the entire debate, and the VOD will be saved afterwards.
You know how
if you want to come back.
You know how we roll.
It'll be saved on our channel. Don't
Ronald Reagan.
In Georgia. They are in Georgia. We got to keep that in mind.
The possibility
Slave.
of
Oh,
slavery.
yeah, because remember when DeSantis said like slavery wasn't so
Yeah,
bad?
do you think that Newsom will hit him on that?
I would.
Hell yeah. 3-way kiss for sure. God, a slavery mention would be so good. Kissinger, you think they started with a moment of silence? All 3 people on that stage probably fuck with him. I like.
Man, how disappointing.
Uh-huh.
That guy's
Gotta
a
love
demon.
how the liberal is so much more poorly educated than the conservative. DeSantis is Harvard and Yale, while Gavin is Santa Clara.
What?
American Wasp with Dieter McBusiness. Man, that's so sick.
Yeah, DeSantis really making himself seem working class with the fucking Ivy Leagues.
Yeah, hold on now. The Ivy Leagues is pristine.
Wait a
white
minute. I
boots.
thought they were centers of liberal indoctrination.
Yeah, hold
What
on
are
now.
you
I
talking about?
thought we didn't fuck with higher education. Word, $5. DeSantis somehow links abortion in Cali to Palestine.
That's the joke we made. If they did that, that'd be too much. That would be too much. You know, California kills babies all the time, not different from what Hamas did.
He said, whoa, Ron. I, too, condemn Hamas. This is not fair. I, too, am fully in support of Israel and their right to self-defense.
I condemn Hamas.
I do. This is not a fair point. This is supposed to be red states versus blue states. We're on the same side on that one.
Newsom. Thank you for the 5.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
So much. Pay for the gas to fill up my car to get here. Innocent until proven guilty. I want the Wasp to come back.
Did I put abortion in here? Yeah, culture of life. That's what DeSantis always says.
Fuck, guys, we got 6 more we got to fill up.
Yeah, we got to fill this up right now. It's tough.
We got 23 good, long, hard minutes to cook something up here. I want something devious. I want something really good.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
State new. Hey, well, in my opinion, that's a win-win. Loser of the state gets loser of the debate gets their state nuked. I'm not ever gonna live in California or Florida. So.
I cannot afford either.
Well, that and I wouldn't want to. Too hot.
So true.
Too hot.
I love a good. I can't say mild climate because Michigan is anything but mild, but I love a good snow.
Yeah, in Michigan now it's like 7 months out of the year is summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of tough.
It's 7 months out of the year is summer, and then winter's hell. It's just fucking cold.
Pudding fingers mentioned. If we get an invade Mexico mention,
invade Mexico. I don't know about invade Mexico though.
I want a pudding fingers mention, so I'm gonna put it on here. If or if Newsom brings this up, I will vote for him for president in 2028. He's got my vote. Doesn't matter who else is running. Hey, chill. I live in California.
Oh, recall election. Recall election makes sense, but then it's like, what? Oh, I got elected again.
I won. Yeah, and then he won in 22, right?
God damn. Jen here,
Jen here, thank you so much.
Oh my God, thank you.
Voter fraud, something LGBT. Well, I got wokeness on here. That's kind of like a catch-all for like bigotry nowadays. But I guess we could put something specifically like they're turning the kids trans or whatever. That's what conservatives always say.
Groomers, maybe.
Yeah, the grooming narrative.
No way pudding fingers gets mentioned. Can a boy not dream?
Yeah, this is a wish list at this point.
What the fuck is going on here? Can a boy not dream? We got to get something LGBTQ on there. Marijuana mention. I feel like everyone would steer clear of that. It's so popular. I don't think any candidate would be caught dead getting out here and saying that marijuana should not be legalized. I don't know if it's too entirely relevant to what's going on.
I could see Newsom call out DeSantis on the book bans though, for sure.
Book bans? Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Florida explicitly is just like banning textbooks at this point.
Do we throw the Homelander smile on?
Where is he gonna smile at if it's not like a?
Oh, that's right.
If it's like a round table. Yeah, book bans, good idea.
But are we just projecting that on, and that's not the reality of the situation? Like,
yeah, true. Are we're guessing too much? There's too many variables.
Fuck. I need to ground myself.
I can't make a prediction. Oh my God, Caleb, thank you.
Hannity lets DeSantis go overtime, but is strict on Newsom. Doesn't let Newsom defend attack.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a 2v1.
100%.
How can we put that into a square?
Gay nutcrackers.
Gay nutcrackers.
Used to be 12, now they're 8 on sale.
AP Psychology. Yeah, there was it was AP what wasn't it? It was AP Psych that was restricted because it talked about gender.
AP Psych was restricted.
AP
and
African American Studies.
No, AP African American Studies flat out I don't think was allowed in the state.
It was being piloted by the College Board.
Yes.
In one high school, and DeSantis said no, sorry, you can't.
That's the CRT BLM shit though.
Yes,
I feel like that definitely falls into CRT BLM.
Hurricanes like an issue I'm unaware of? Like, is this like a culture war thing or what?
I don't know.
Like you can't control her. I guess Florida's gotten hit with a few hurricanes the last few years, but you can't control that, right?
But it's like, what?
You drop a nuke on it.
Do they just hit each other on their various disasters?
Yeah.
Hurricanes, wildfires. I don't know if nobody's coming out on top regardless, but I don't know if anyone comes out on top for that one. EVs.
Oh, Ron drops military? Yes. Ron's like, I was in the military.
I served my country.
Gruesome Gavin Newsom.
I broke those hunger strikes as hard as I could.
Yeah, I signed up on all those war crimes. That's why I look up to Henry Kissinger.
Oh my God! Word. Newsom announces he's running for president, and there's no way. He came on and he said, I think somebody had asked him, I think like recently, whether like it hypothetically, if he was just given the nomination or whatever, would he run? And he's like, no, Joe Biden is the president. Like he's firmly stepping back. I don't think he wants to get his hands dirty. Maybe in 2028.
Guantanamo, climate change. You know, I think Newsom's being a good little warrior right now for Joe Biden. And I think he's trying to earn some street cred so that he can run for president in 28.
You know, God giving him his easiest battle right here.
To be fair, though, I don't think Newsom would be like that great. To be fair, he kind of just seems like a liberal, like super liberal. They just had a bill go through their state legislature that was like outlawing any use of the Indian caste system, and he vetoed it because they do deals with like Indian companies and stuff like that, for like economics, and he vetoed that, and apparently he was lobbied by a bunch of people in like the higher castes, so that's super fucking sick.
Oh my!
DeSantis praises Kissinger. That would be so awesome, but I don't think he'll do it. I hope so, though.
Kissinger moment of silence, I think it very realistically could happen. It very realistically could happen. Maybe they fight who could espouse their support more. Maybe they really love the Vietnam War.
Will Biden choose Newsom for VP? No chance. He's keeping Kamala. It would look weak if he switched it up right now.
Probably be better in the long run, but there's.
Oh yeah, no. Kamala Harris is awful. I mean, Biden's been awful recently, right? So whatever. Not much you can do right now.
Do you think they're going to parade some 15-year-old young Republican out and say some crap about climate change again?
Oh, you think they're going to take fan questions or audience questions?
You think there's like the video, because they don't have an audience, but do you think they have videos of like people who ask their questions beforehand?
Yeah, like we surveyed voters in San Francisco, and they just went around to every homeless person they could find.
Oh, hell yeah.
And they were like, say to the camera, you hate Gavin Newsom. Wait, did we not get any border stuff on here?
No way.
Oh, we got Hamas coming into sanctuary cities.
Hamas. DeSantis will say, Mommy, I'm my wife. That was a good moment. That was a great moment. Terminator grin.
Put open border on there. I guess we could use our last spot for the Terminator Homelander grin.
I think so.
I don't know what else.
And he's going to be giving DeSantis a sloppy all night. There's no way.
Oh, yeah, no, he's going to be backflipping on it. It's going to be crazy.
Yes, on fan questions. I wonder who they're going to bring in. At the last GOP debate, they brought in just like Mr. Zionist. Like it was some like was that when the Jewish Chamber of Commerce was coming in? Or was that something else we covered?
Who got called a Zionist? What?
No. The last GOP debate, they had some like Zionist guy just asking them questions about whether or not they affirm their support for Israel.
Like an ultra, he was like very conservative or something like that.
Very conservative Zionist.
A right wing. I can't remember exactly what he labeled himself as.
Is that when it was the Jewish Chamber of Commerce, or did they say something else stupid?
No, I think Jewish Chamber of Commerce. Well, no, actually, I think it was because we were like, oh, that's the same group that was like Starbucks is Jewish blood. Yeah. Okay.
Pick one.
Yeah, pick a side, dog.
Pick one.
You got to pick a side.
Support for Israel mentioned. Yeah, I gotta be clear. Let me be clear.
So, we got some Hamas mentions in here. Do they go on about? I can't see them talking about foreign policy.
Joe Rogan, Elon X mention. I don't think lightning would strike twice like that.
This should be Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, and Elon Musk.
God damn, asking the real questions.
10 times the viewership.
MTG gets brought up. Question to Newsom: would you rather be tall and have an evil nose, or be average height and have a perfect nose? And man, you were cooking with the first one, but this one, I don't know where you're going with this.
Don't be anti-Semitic in my chat, or you'll get booted.
That's what I'm saying. Silicon Valley in general, Facebook. Oh, big tech. Big tech mention.
Big tech. Silicon Valley. Yeah, but then I'll throw it in here, and then we can evaluate it as a whole, take a comprehensive view.
Exactly. We've got 15 minutes to refine. They both got the evil smile going on in the pics.
Silicon Valley, big tech.
Deport Islamic students. Nice.
It seems like a popular position nowadays.
Not a Semitic reference.
Not popular, but
ignoring time limits. See, the thing is, I don't know if there is going to be time limits. I don't think we know anything about.
We really have nothing other than it's 90 minutes on the topics we mentioned earlier. Yeah.
The only thing we know is they'll all be in person in a room, just the three of them, possibly dimly lit, very intimate.
And to be clear, I'm hoping for DeSantis to get dunked on. He sucks. Everything about him sucks.
How does he not? Like the fucking might as well put DeSantis as uncharismatic in the bingo in the free square.
We'd win immediately.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not fair.
That's what I'm saying.
Why is this happening? Is it a flex?
Has to be.
I think DeSantis a couple of months ago said something like, "I'll debate anybody," and Newsom was like, "All right, bet." And then he just did it. And it's like like that's the kind of thing that you like bait, but you don't actually do as a means of making yourself seem stronger as a candidate. and now he's doing it, and it's going to be a disaster. Even if he does well, it's a waste of time.
It's when you make up a scheduling conflict. Like, we just couldn't make it work.
Like, this is for us, people who are never going to vote for Ron DeSantis. You know what I mean?
Or Gavin Newsom, frankly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just for culture war points.
Free space for production value.
I fucking love the culture war. You think?
Candlelit Hiddo live stream.
All right, guys, let's shut the lights off. Let's get some warm lighting in here.
Let's review the bingo card and make any adjustments that we want to make, and then we'll send it out.
Jackson Taylor, what's the next famous?
Oh shit!
Shit!
It's been 2 years since we did that.
I didn't know anyone liked it. It wasn't the most well received segment we've ever done.
Yeah, we could do Ben Shapiro's one of Ben Shapiro's books. I saw they're coming out with like an attempt at transphobia, but it's a movie.
Oh,
did you see that? Jeremy Boring is starring in it.
He's starring. Is it like a fictional film? Is there a narrative?
I don't want to go through the pain of watching the trailer because it's awful. It's going to be awful. It's a Daily Wire film. It's basically the premise is about a bunch of men who I'm assuming are like bad at basketball join a women's team and like win all of it because like look, trans people participating in sports is bad. And they're saying like if men can just go and do this, then they're just going to dominate all the women. They're going to dominate all the women's sports. But it comes across in the trailer like they're just making fun of themselves because it's so clear. It's like obvious. This doesn't happen, right? Like it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So when you exaggerate it to this extent and you make it seem this insane, you just sound like you're making fun of the conservative talking points.
That is true. It's kind of like in essence, it's like the PragerU D-Trans documentary where it ended up just being pro-trans by showing how after this person did conversion therapy, they were not happy.
Yeah.
And just showed pictures of them being a happy trans person. Ramaswamy's book would be sick. Get out there and read Woke Inc. Oh my goodness.
The problem with reading some of these people's books is I don't like political figures is I don't know if they actually wrote them, you know?
Oh, that's big fact.
They could have just have it ghost written and they just have their name stamped on it to say that I have a book.
Ramaswamy, I could imagine that he had a hand in it maybe, but like, you know, when Dick Cheney writes a book, that shit is not real.
Right.
That shit does not happen.
Or even Ron DeSantis. What the fuck does he have to say?
Exactly. The interview at the movie was hilarious. Like, no one wanted
Yeah. They had a bunch of... I think the reason that all the Daily Wire people are in there, like Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring
what happened to Gina Carano? I thought she was doing big things over there.
I don't know what she's doing.
I thought she was a star.
I think all the actual actors left. So they had to use Jeremy Boring.
God.
A guy who cannot act. The reason they're at the Daily Wire, by the way, is because they can't act. Like, that's why.
Every single one of them. Imagine if Newsom were actually sharp enough and strong-willed enough to be about big change. Why can't we get that real?
Capitalism.
California's like the liberal.
Also,
an Andor review, fantastic show.
Also, you got to keep in mind when it comes to like New York, California, and these like bastions of quote unquote democratic power.
Yeah,
a lot of the Democrats there are just Republicans. But they run as Democrats because you can't win in the state as a Republican. Case in point, Eric Adams, mayor of New York.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You can't win as the mayor in New York City if you're running as a Republican. So all the conservatives that want a chance at winning run as a Democrat. Whereas if you look at purple states like Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and so on, you don't have to run as a Democrat if you're secretly a Republican and you want to win. You can just run as a Republican.
Yeah.
So when actual Democrats actually win, people that are actually on the left, we get a decade's worth of progressive reforms in places like, again, Michigan, Wisconsin, and so on. Tons of good stuff happening in the Midwest simply because it's actual... if not progressives, then just regular liberals who are like, yeah, let's actually engage in some economic stimulation and make life better for people. And that's what's happening.
Oh, that's true. Buying from them gives them money, so get it from your library. I also love the pirating. Big straw hat over here. Yes. Something about Disney.
All right, gang, are we good for this this bingo card? We can get it out, share it, make sure you all have it, and keep track.
Hell yeah.
Kami Soda, yeah. They like all kinds of good stuff for labor unions, for the minimum wage, for healthcare, for just tons of different stuff. So good.
Need a reading podcast recommendation list from you guys. I want to expand my library. Oh boy, do I have something for you. Oh my God. Huge fan of feminist literature. Big feminist literature man over here, you know. Oh no, I just put my feminist literature out of sight. You guys can't see it no more. That's crazy.
He loves feminist literature.
I love feminist literature.
All right, the bingo card's getting saved. I don't care if there's duplicates.
Mixing myself up some fun little cocktails. Did we get Vax on here?
No.
Vax?
Vax?
No Vax?
Well, but like DeSantis administered vaccines in his state.
Exactly. That's the issue. That's the fucking problem.
That's why Florida's in a state of disarray right now.
Because no one was strong-willed enough.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to...
Feminist literature. My job forbids me from pirating. Do tell. I was so sad when they told me. How would they know?
How would they know?
How would they? They're never going to know.
I'm going to airdrop this boy. Hang on, guys. Working on it.
No vax.
No vax. Henry Kissinger vaxxed?
Maybe.
Vaxxed?
Guys, it has been a while, though. I'm going to need another round of I condemn Hamas in the chat. Please, everyone in the chat. I condemn Hamas. Please repeat after me.
Please tell me that you condemn Hamas.
Make sure to drop your chat. Make sure to let everybody know that you condemn Hamas. Because we here at In the Office do.
Okay, this is not working. I got to save it differently.
That's what my head is always doing in the office because it doesn't have any other meaning. It doesn't have any illicit double entendre. I'm trying to scrub the image. And if it does, it was an unfortunate coincidence.
Let me know that you condemn Hamas and then also share the stream with your friends. Give it a like.
Exactly.
And so on.
Henry kissing her. Ooh. She kiss on my Henry till I'm injured. Come on now. Come on.
He's just like that.
I just do that. God damn.
Do you condemn Hamas?
Now
I need someone to make like a Hamilton type musical about condemning Hamas.
I consume hummus?
That doesn't sound like a condemnation of Hamas. All right, I'm gonna drop this in the Discord. If you're not in our Discord, join at the link in the description. Remember, and, maybe become a patron at the link in the description.
It's the season of giving, guys.
Support the show.
What the fuck?
Support
Word.
the show.
Oh, my. Look at Word. The model chatter right here.
Everyone do exactly what Word
Everyone repeat after me.
Do you condemn Hamas?
I shared this with my entire context. Share this with everyone you know so that they know that you condemn Hamas.
All right, we got about 5 minutes.
Shut the fuck.
Go use the bathroom.
Hey, man. Hey, Veronica, I'm just fucking about it. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're not like that. I'm sorry it's not like that for real. I'll just be with the shit. God damn. She kiss on my Henry till I'm in her. That was an alternative. I was thinking about them all this morning. That was another one I was going to post. I was going to post like 3, but I couldn't think of a third. Chat, if you want to help me out with that. The voters that matter are watching the NFL right now, by the way. We been knew this. No one that's voting for either of these two is watching this. This is for me. This is for me. And I'm okay with that. God damn. My. If this shit is boring, though, I'm going to be so upset that I haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen for this. It would be ridiculous. My mom just caught me condemning Hamas and she's giving me the talk. Yeah, guys, it's happened to all of us. Thank you, Caleb Horn, $2. You condemn Hamas. I'm so glad. Yeah, really, it's happened to all of us, though. Mike Chaplinsky, really. Everybody's been there condemning Hamas when the mom forgets to knock on the door and you have to quickly, silence yourself. You're reading through comments condemning Hamas, then you got to turn off the computer real quick. What were you doing? Nothing. Have you read the manga? No. Okay, I have not read JJK, but as soon as this season finishes, I'm doing it. I can't stop. Gage, where's my wine? I gotta drive back to my township after this. I can't. But I do want them. The new JJK episode goes hard. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I heard the best fight hasn't even happened yet. This season has been a banger. It's ridiculous. Can you highlight a figurine while waiting? I would, but now he's back from peeing, bruh. Oh my god. I swear to God, usually this guy, we're playing Rocket League. He's like, I gotta go. Oh my god.
I don't know why I'm being lied about.
It's ridiculous, bruh.
Just lying on my name while I'm trying to get back.
Chat was talking shit like the whole time you were gone, and I was defending.
Oh my god! I can scroll up right now. I'll scroll up right now.
Chat was talking shit the whole time, but they deleted the messages. Come on!
Can't believe I'm being done like this. How could you guys be so mean to me?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Guys, stop! I condemn any ill will against Jeremy.
Got the booch.
Hell yeah!
Got the booch.
You binged the manga in like 3 days. See, I'm trying to binge through One Piece right now, and that shit is killing me. It's like, hey, I'm on chapter 250 of 1099. It's been a couple months. I put everything else on pause to read it. Oh, does Gay condemn Hamas?
Not Taylor Clark in the chat.
Taylor Clark, back to the town. That's right. I gotta go back to my township.
Back to his city.
I got people back there that need me. Does JJK condemn? Does Satoru Gojo condemn Hamas?
I don't think he condemns anything anymore.
Oh, too real. I do know about that one. Does Sukuna condemn Hamas?
I think Sukuna might be worse than Hamas.
See, look, Kate said it. Loves bullying Jeremy.
Man, shut up.
Does JJK condemn Hamas?
Just go through the character list.
That's basically One Piece is brutal. Oh my god, and I'm enjoying. Hot take. I did not enjoy Alabasta that much. I thought it had great moments, like Mr. One and Zoro. The fight with Crocodile was cool, and the fight with Mr. Four and Chopper. I really like Chopper. Everything else, Nico.
Crazy how you're saying you condemn Hamas, but I saw Gage and Hamas hanging out after class.
It's not true.
No, that's real. That's real.
These are baseless accusations, guys. It's not true. Guys, stop. Prove it. Prove it. Go ahead and prove it. I've never once hung out with Hamas after class. We have one class together, just one class together, and we happen to walk adjacent in the hallways to get to the next class. This is ridiculous.
Have y'all talked about the Donald Trump movie coming out with Sebastian Stan as Donald Trump? What?
Winter Soldier?
The Winter Soldier?
The Winter Soldier as Trump?
I would put Fox News on now, but it's Jesse Waters right now. The gay nutcracker guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to expose that to all of you.
Moss, cooking for the IDF Twitter account, Sukuna and Gojo put aside their differences to fight the true evil of Hamas.
Wait, one of you needs to make that a real thing so we can post it. Because that's the exact type of thing the IDF would post.
Gage's fake woke. Whoa, chill, okay. This is ridiculous.
I'm
real
woke.
It's a picture of Sukuna after the fucking Shibuya incident, and he's like, "Wow, Hamas, so much worse than this." He said, "I thought this was evil until I saw what Hamas did." Holy shit, man. Oh, and then they post Frieza, and Frieza is reading the charter of Hamas, and he's like, wow, they don't like them way more than I don't like Saiyans. Oh my goodness. Yeah, young Donald Trump in the
I feel like we could do
movie?
IDF propaganda better than they do.
We should make a sock IDF account. Just make it IDF.
Condemns Hamas. Hamas redefines evil.
Oh my god, it's Sukuna just out there just yoiks tenkai. Oh fuck, man, this is good. We haven't been cooking like this in a while.
Okay, so the debate still hasn't started. It's still just Jesse Waters yapping his lips off.
What is this guy doing? I don't understand why they gave him a primetime spot. Do people like him?
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Because it's like they love.
They needed to fill the Tucker.
They love talking about masculinity. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it up to reader interpretation.
Gruesome Gavin Newsom.
Hell yeah. Gruesome Gavin Newsom about to get up there and hit that fucking yoiks tenkai.
Malevolent kitchen up there.
That's right.
All right. Are we ready? 6 seconds. God. It looks like it's about to switch over. Thank God. I don't want us to... Oh, wait. I got to adjust the frame.
You don't fuck with Waters World?
I hate Jesse Waters. He's the worst.
Oh my God, bro. So much hate in your heart. Truly humble under God. You know, did you guys see the fucking lawyer quoting Bleach? She's like, this is like a Bleach filler arc. Like, he's not the villain. Dog.
Here we go.
I'll donate $100 if we finish a bingo row. The stakes are high. Which row, though?
The Democratic governor of the great state of California.
One second.
First ever red state, blue state debate right here on the Fox News channel. Now, we will do our best to give equal time to each governor.
I know you guys can't see it.
We will limit answers to 60 seconds per question. We'll be a little flexible as needed. Let the debate breathe as needed, along with a 30-second time for rebuttal. let me start by introducing both.
Oh, God.
He got the Homelander smile,
Governor
bruh.
Gavin Newsom.
That shit's crazy.
Thank you both for being
The One
here.
Piece
It is
world
just like
government condemns Hamas.
I know both of you personally. I've known you both for a long time. I know you're very busy. I also know this. I know that both of you love your individual states. Yeah. I know you both have a deep and abiding love for our country, as I do. But where we are in the country, we've never kind of been this divided in a long time. There are clear and deep and profound differences in your approach to governance. Right. And before we begin, one quick note to all of you that are watching. Do you condemn Hamas? Okay. I'm now the longest running primetime cable host in the history of cable news.
Shut up,
bro. And I feel blessed.
Self-glazing.
In my 28th year at Fox. It's kind of widely known that I am a conservative. However, tonight I will be moderating this debate. I will not be part of the debate.
Liar.
Our questions tonight will be coming from well-sourced, fact-centered perspectives, and you will see and hear most of tonight's questions will deal with the most fundamental issues, the ones that impact the lives of the people that make this country great. The people in Florida, the people in California, and in many ways, every state in the country will discuss taxes, the economy, immigration, crime, guns, homelessness, education,
I think we predicted all of this.
Abortion, gas prices.
They are talking about parental rights.
Things that impact you every single day.
So, in the end,
you will get to decide which governing philosophy you believe is better. The governors will explain their governing philosophy. And again, fact-based questions. So let's get started.
Hamas-based questions.
Honestly, maybe they'll pull a Univision.
As we speak, there is a phenomenon that is playing out across the entire country. Americans, they are leaving blue states in droves in favor of red states. You can see numbers on the screen right now from the years 2021 and 2022. These particular numbers are stark in the state that you lead. In the case of you, Governor Newsom, according to the U.S. Census, this is where the numbers come from.
We knew it.
In 2021 and 2022, California's lost 750,000 residents to other states. Governor DeSantis, during that same two-year period, you gained 454,000 residents from other states. So, Governor DeSantis, we had a coin toss. I was not part of it. I missed it. But apparently, Governor Newsom, you won the coin toss. And you chose to let Governor DeSantis have the first question. You will get the last word tonight. So I begin with you.
Fucking NFL.
For Governor Newsom, I will ask, what your response is on this as well. It's a simple question. How do you explain this phenomenon? Governor, what's going on?
States. When I was in the Navy, I got orders to go to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado in Southern California. I was a lifelong Floridian, but I went there and I was like, man, this is one of the most beautiful places on earth. And I think California has more natural advantages than any state in the country. You almost have to try to mess California up. And yeah, that's what Gavin Newsom has done since he's been governor. He's the first governor to ever lose population. They actually at one point ran out of U-Hauls in the state of California because so many people were leaving. Of course, he's imposed restrictions on his own people while exempting himself from those restrictions and going to the French Laundry while his people were suffering. He led the country in school closures, locking kids out of school while he had his own kids in private school in person. Now, he's very good at spinning these tales. He's good at being slick and slippery. He'll tell a blizzard of lies to be able to try to mask the failures. But the reality is they have failed because of his leftist ideology. And the choice for America is this. What Biden and Harris and Newsom want to do is take the California model and do that nationally. In Florida, we showed that conservative principles work. This country must choose freedom over failure.
Governor Newsom, your reaction.
Shut up, bitch boy.
It's good to be with you, Sean. It's nice also to see you in a tie as well tonight. Good to be with you, Ron. And I
dressed up for the occasion, Governor.
No, I'm impressed and I'm grateful. Look, it's an important occasion. This is an important conversation.
Doesn't matter.
And I think it's important to folks watching. They're probably wondering, what are we actually doing here? And I want to answer that very directly. I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here to tell the truth about the Biden-Harris record and also compare and contrast Ron DeSantis' record and the Republican Party's record as a point of contrast that's as different as daylight and darkness. You want to bring us back to a pre-1960s world, America in reverse.
Bro's not answering
You want
the
to roll
question,
back hard-earned national rights on voting rights, on civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's rights, not just access to abortion, but also access to contraception. You want to weaponize grievance. You are focusing on false
I kind of fuck with not answering the question.
That's what I'm saying. He's kind of eating right now.
Binge, a cultural purge, intimidating and humiliating people who disagree with
any question.
And President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire. So
look at that
Sean,
smile. Look at that smile.
There are profound differences tonight.
The gritting teeth.
I look forward to engage them. But there's one thing in closing that we have in common is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
Governor, great opening statement, but it did not address the issue.
Didn't answer the question.
Can you explain this migration out of California and going to red?
He gets another go at it.
You mean the last 2 years, more Floridians going to California than Californians going to Florida?
No, I put up on. I put up on
by the way, that's going to be fun to fact check. So we'll just start right there. California has no peers. California dominates, sizable 21 state populations combined. It's the 5th largest economy in the world. We dominate, number one manufacturing state. We dominate in two-way trade and research and development, access to innovation, more scientists, more researchers, more engineers, more Nobel laureates in the state of California than any other state in the nation. The finest system of higher education.
I don't know about all that.
It's the birthplace of life science and biotech and nanotechnology. We dominate in green tech. We dominate in high tech. We dominate in artificial intelligence. So with respect, I think it's an interesting campaign strategy for Ron DeSantis to be bashing a state of 40 million Americans when California simply has no peers.
Well, that's a pretty slick way of not answering your question. He went on a binge of putting out a lot of left-wing platitudes. Here's what I would say.
What does that even mean?
I talked to a lot of the people that have moved from California to Florida, and we never used to get people from California to Florida or really anywhere in the East, because why would you leave California? It's got the best weather, great natural
just shut up there.
Excuse me, sir. But one of the things I was talking to a gentleman a couple.
Guys, I'm going to let the
Ron to anecdote.
But it's his turn. Let's take turns.
So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California to Florida, and he was telling me that Florida is much better governed, safer, better budget, lower taxes, all this stuff. And he's really happy with the quality of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California and come to the state of Florida.
So
and why are we getting people to come?
Yeah.
We have a 50-year low in the crime rate.
That is kind of sick.
You don't see in the last 10 years, we've had a 45% decline in homelessness. California's had a 45% increase in homelessness. We backed the blue. I was walking the streets of San Francisco a couple months ago, and I had some of the cops in San Francisco do a beeline to come over to me, and I didn't know what they were going to say. And they're like, we want to thank you for standing for law enforcement.
Well, yeah, they're the corniest people ever
in the state of California. So people
was it Ron that said him and his family thanks service members?
They understand that Florida's doing it right. And I can tell you the numbers speak for themselves. We have way more people moving to this state than leaving.
This is high octane.
Can't say the opposite. More people are leaving California than are moving into California.
Let me bring up
coming to California the other way around the last 2 years. Let's talk about crime.
Governor, hold on. Governor, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
He said a lot of things that were factually untrue, including that 50-year crime low, which his own law enforcement team said you should not be using.
You have yet to address the issue, but I asked you twice. You don't want to answer it. But the issue of why the migration out of red states, out of blue states.
We just established more Floridians coming to California in the last 2 years than the
overall. You had a net loss of 7.
It's a fact.
Just asserted it.
It's a fact.
No, it's not a fact.
It is a fact.
Moving on.
Cool.
Let's go.
Nice. Okay.
Your states have vastly different income tax rates. Okay, it is what it is. These are the facts.
Oh, here we go.
California's highest rate for top earners, 13%. Married couple, for example, in California,
I don't know if it's the case in Florida, but I know in Texas they have no income tax, but property tax is fucking insane.
In the state of California.
No matter what,
Florida's
they're making that money
income tax rate is 0% across all salaries, but it goes beyond income taxes. Property taxes are lower in California, but everything else is higher. Let's take a look at the numbers. These are the facts. The average property tax in California, 0.75%, Florida, 0.91%. Sales tax, California, 7.25%, Florida, 6%. Gas tax rate, California, 77 cents a gallon.
What are they doing sneaking the corporate income tax rate in there?
It's up to $1 when you include mandatory fees, and in Florida, it's 35 cents. Corporate income tax, California, 8.84%, Florida, 5.5%. Governor Newsom, this is your question. Let me ask you.
How is Bro going to get his way out of this one?
Obviously, you support a different philosophy, which is higher taxes.
Yes. No, hold on.
This is a tax question, Governor.
This is a very different approach, and I agree with you completely. He has one of the most regressive tax rates in the United States of America. It's the number 3 most regressive state in America. And what that means is simply this. Who does he tax? He taxes low-income workers more than we tax millionaires and billionaires in the state of California. The question is a simple one. Who are you for? It's a factual lie that the state of California has has the highest tax rate, but for whom? And it's a foundational and fundamental difference. You look at states like Texas, overwhelming majority of Texans pay more taxes than the state of California. So again,
put me
it's
on the
who
speech
you're
writing
for,
team.
and I think those values matter. And I appreciate you bringing up the issue.
How many people leave Florida to go to California because they pay less taxes? I've not seen that. Are people going from Florida to New York because they pay less taxes? Of course not.
Rich
they
people,
come to
dumbass.
Florida because they pay lower taxes. We don't even have an income tax. And yet California has a higher sales tax than we do, and that's one of the things that we do. But here's the thing, and I'll give Gavin credit. He did at least admit in his first answer. He's joined at the hip with Biden and Harris. He thinks Biden and Harris have done a great job. He thinks the economy is working because of their policies for Americans, and they are not. And so what California represents is the Biden-Harris agenda on steroids. They would love nothing more than to get 4 more years to be able to take the California model nationally. That would be disastrous for working people in this country.
Let's talk about working people. They pay more in your state than the state of California charges for billionaires and millionaires. And it's just a value proposition. It's a fact. Again,
you can't say nuh-uh.
$6 or $7
I want Ron DeSantis to like have a verbal pause, and I want Ron DeSantis to go and Gavin Newsom to go
force everybody to buy an electric vehicle. How are they going to be able to afford electric vehicles if you're working class people? And I think the thing about California, they have one of the highest inequality rates because, they've got Silicon Valley billionaires.
That's an excellent point. Talking just about taxes is a very superficial level of saying things like what amenities do those taxes provide to people? What do the taxes
California,
pay?
they've been leaving in other places. They go to Arizona, they go to Nevada, they go to all these places.
Let me just
Biden is hollowing out this
I do have a follow-up question.
in California.
Ron, I'm happy
that
you
cool,
continue
calm,
to
and
talk.
collective.
Let's talk a little bit about Bidenomics, because I'm happy to take that on right now as well. And I think it's a fair
You're a big
point.
supporter of it. I appreciate you acknowledging
14 million jobs, 10 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined.
Because he had
815,000 manufacturing
the jobs were because of the COVID. Are you kidding me?
3.9% unemployment. As he continues to talk over me, I'll talk to the American people. 3.9% unemployment, the lowest black unemployment in American history, the lowest unemployment for Hispanics in American history, the lowest unemployment for women in 70 years, the lowest black poverty rates in history. That's this administration's agenda. And by the way, as you smile and smirk over there, you should know this, the American people. Here's a guy who celebrated Bidenomics just this week, celebrating $28 million that came into your state because of the CHIPS and Science Act, one of the most significant economic plans
Ron
since
DeSantis has
FDR.
no control
I'm
over
proud
his
of the
facial
work
expressions.
Biden and Harris have done.
He wears that shit on his sleeve.
I do have a follow-up. The 6% rate on people, families, couple in California, they pay 6% income tax on $84,000 a year.
Low-wage workers in the state of Florida pay more than billionaire state of California.
I didn't ask about Florida.
He said I didn't ask about Florida. That is essential to a red state versus blue state debate. I didn't ask you to tear down your opposition to explain why you're the better person here.
California has lower taxes, lower than 32 states.
Justify that in a vacuum.
Middle class.
What the fuck?
Significantly lower taxes than places like Texas.
You support a 6% income tax for people, a couple
I'm
making
against progressive taxes that advantage billionaires and millionaires over working families and the working poor. People in his state pay more taxes on the low end than we tax people on the high end. That's
paying
a fact.
$7 a gallon gas help working people?
You say $75?
How does paying an 8% sales tax help working people? That doesn't help working people at all. They have the highest taxes in the nation. People flee to be able to save money to get out of California. And you have working class people that move to these other states. Their dollars go much further. But here's the thing. They want to take this Bidenomics and they want to double down on this for the next 4 years. How many people are able to afford groceries now compared to what you were doing 3 or 4 years ago?
Trump
I talked
blazing.
to people, I talked to a woman who had a cart full of groceries going in, and they're ringing it up. And it got to be so expensive, she has to take a lot of the stuff out. That didn't used to be the case. People used to be able to work hard and get ahead. That is not true under Joe Biden. And you know what, Sean? One more final thing.
Like, that's just a self-report that you've never been working class.
California's unemployment rate is 60% higher than Florida's unemployment rate. Our unemployment rate is 2.8%.
Theirs is 4.8%.
Why?
Governor.
Because it's a command and control economy. They have a political agenda that they're pursuing.
Let me ask that question. Honor the question of jobs. I think it's important. You know what? That affects. That affects everybody.
Biden administration, the last 3 years, it's been a master
Joe Biden paying you tonight?
3.9%.
I thought this was state versus state.
No, but it's about the United States of America. I thought this guy was running for president of the United States.
You just won't admit it.
You're running for a third term.
You just won't admit it. You will not admit it.
Oh, that's so weird.
All right, gentlemen, that you're running.
Hold on.
All right, we can't talk. I'm going to move on to the next question.
There are no primaries.
The unemployment rate in Florida right now is just 2.8%, as you stated. And California ranks second worst in the country.
So far, this
at
is very fair and balanced.
Hold on. This question goes to Governor DeSantis, and then
this is 1 month, by the way. That was just October.
Well, right. I mean, they tax too much. They regulate too much. They have a political agenda. It's not a good climate for business. They've lost a lot of companies. A lot of companies have moved to Texas. We have had some to Florida, but they've lost a lot of companies to Texas because they're not doing a good job looking out for folks and not creating a good business environment. And
what does that mean?
When I have people that come to Florida, they tell me, you guys actually want us to succeed in Florida. And they feel like when they're in California, they don't want business to succeed.
Is that what Disney's saying, the Tampa Bay Rays?
Well, actually, yeah. I think that's an interesting point with Disney because I had Disney open during COVID. And we made them a fortune. We saved a lot of jobs.
Baby.
You had Disney closed inexplicably for over a year.
Disney World was also pretty fucking closed during Florida.
You did a lot of damage to your people. You had more kids locked out of school for a longer period of time in California than anywhere else in the country.
COVID, baby.
It was the working class kids. It was the middle income kids. His kids were in private school. They were in class in person. He locked people out because of the teachers' union. He is owned by the teachers' union. You will never cross the teachers' union.
This is just a lot of hype.
Big teacher coming for you.
COVID. Let's talk about your record on COVID. You passed an emergency declaration before the state of California did. You closed down your beaches, your bars, your restaurants.
False.
It's a fact. You had quarantines. You had quarantines. You had checkpoints all over the state of Florida. By the way, I didn't say that. Donald Trump laid you out on this. Dead to right. You did that.
True.
You followed science. You followed Fauci.
That's not false.
He followed science.
He
followed Fauci. You were promoting, promoting vaccines.
We were open.
You were promoting vaccines. You even wore a mask in September.
Sean, you were closed.
If it's okay with you, we'll do this.
Why were you closed?
Why don't we do this where we both can have
Why were you
opportunity?
closed for so long?
You wore a mask with
guys,
Donald Trump outside.
I'm trying to let it breathe.
September 2020. He did all of that
Newsom.
until he decided to fall prey to the fringe of his party. And as a consequence of that, Ron, tens of thousands of people lost their lives.
Not true.
He literally does the Homelander.
If I had your policies, the equivalent of 10
Like, that's
9/11.
the same fucking
Tens of
little,
thousands
like,
of people
secret
lost their
Homelander
lives.
does.
And for what, Ron?
Those are more lies. In fact, the Lancet just did a study. Florida had a lower standardized COVID death rate than California did. That's a Lancet study. One more thing. The other thing we had, the other thing California had, California had higher excess mortality than
All right, gentlemen.
Let me talk about the excess mortality real quick.
Honestly,
because the
hold on a
excess
second.
mortality is other things.
Oh, now they want to talk about excess mortality.
I want everyone to be heard. If I can ask you, I really do want this to breathe. I want this debate to breathe. I want it to organically develop. To do that, I need both your cooperation. I don't want to be a hall monitor. It's not my style, all right? You mentioned COVID. Let me go to COVID. And I plan to bring this up later, but you both took very different approaches as it comes to COVID. Governor Newsom, you issued the nation's first stay-at-home order on March 19th of 2020. Governor DeSantis, you took a lot of heat for reopening schools. You opened schools in Florida in August of 2020. All right, so here's the data, which I think is
insane.
important.
August of 2020, what? That is insane.
Your state's death rates were almost identical.
This is factually untrue.
Hold on.
Factually untrue.
Okay. And by the way, both your states, with such different approaches, which is pretty fascinating, were both lower, significantly lower than the national average. These numbers come straight from the CDC. So, Governor Newsom, how do you explain that?
The facts. Per capita death rates
That's what that is.
in the state of Florida were 29%. 29% per capita higher. 29%.
That's not what the stats say right there.
It actually doesn't say a percent.
Thousands of people
Don't lie
unnecessarily
about
died.
it. He put the graphic up there. Don't lie about it.
Unnecessarily
you don't need to lie about it.
Because your policies.
Just understand.
You're lying
you don't
about
need to
your
lie
record.
about it. No, it's not.
California is also much more densely populated. Well, it depends on where you are in California.
That's just a fact. He's running away from his record. He's running away from the fact.
But California has more densely populated areas than Florida
because he paved to the. It's 29% higher death rate in the state of Florida versus the state of California.
Quick response, Governor.
You showed the stats. The stats are very clear.
One at a time.
On a per capita age-adjusted basis, California and Florida basically the same. Now, why is that important? Because Gavin Newsom did huge damage to people in California. He ruined livelihoods. We reopened the state very quickly. We saved thousands of jobs. We saved hundreds of thousands of jobs, thousands of businesses. We had our kids in school. He had the kids locked out of school because of the teachers union. That is having a generational impact. California has one of the lowest literacy rates in the country. In the most recent NAEP exam, Florida came in number 3 for 4th grade reading. California was far, far behind. So you should apologize for not getting your kids in school. Why didn't you get the kids in school in the summer of 2020 like we
Everyone's
did?
a liberal.
Bow to the teachers union.
Person
didn't do the job you should have done.
The only person
one at a time, quick answer,
is Ron DeSantis for the tens of thousands of lives that died unnecessarily because he played.
It's 400.
Played to the fringe of
Florida
his party.
is 400 per 100,000, not 252.
Did they just lie?
Donovan, could you get a fact check on that?
Be careful. You had more learning loss during COVID
Donovan, can you pull
than
that
the
shit up?
national average in the state of California. It's a fact. More learning loss. Your economy contracted more in 2020.
Quick break.
Expanded slower than California
to be fair,
in 2021.
They say the numbers are from the CDC, and I'm willing to accept that for the frame of this, but it's also Fox News. I wouldn't put it past them to just lie.
Rather dull at the start, but anyway, we got a lot to get to. Coming up, many important topics that we're going to be talking about, including one issue where we might find some agreement, actually, as we continue the blue state, red state debate. We are live. We are in Alpharetta, Georgia. Thank you for being here.
They are so catty. It's, dare I say, it's everything I've ever wanted.
Okay, I'm going to mute this. Hang on.
On what, learning loss? No, the COVID deaths per capita.
I'm trying to find it, but here, I'm looking at the CDC, and I don't see per capita. Well, I think it's per capita, but it's not saying per 100,000. But on here, Florida is higher up than California.
What is it per? Or just per capita?
I don't know what it is.
That would be standardized.
Florida, it says 111.7. California is 99.9. So I'm wondering, did Fox News just straight up lie?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm looking, guys.
Where are we at with bingo? What's going on with the bingo card?
Deaths by state COVID per capita.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like Ron's already talked more in this one than he did in the last 3 GOP debates. This is great.
Death rate by state, U.S. News and World Report. I'm guessing they're getting theirs from this. Well, just looking at this map, it's not
per 100K. Yeah, that's.
Is this per 100K? I don't know. It's hard to.
COVID-19 deaths per 100K, right there on the right.
Oh, okay. So here we go. Florida.
Is it going to show?
414. California. As of July 23rd, 2023, 263.
I wonder when they pulled those numbers from.
Yeah, is this only 2023? Compare the rates. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Well, then
history. Wait, try history?
When would Fox have pulled their numbers from?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I also, because those numbers wouldn't match up with Gavin Newsom saying that Florida's was 29% higher than California's. Because what is 120? Let me fucking bust out the little calculator. What is 129?
Donovan's saying California's per 1 million is far lower.
Per 1 million is far lower? Huh. I'm not surprised.
So far,
Ron DeSantis opened it up against every expert's will and advice.
Yeah, regardless, of course, it's an infectious disease. Even if we can't get conclusive numbers right here because we don't know exactly where Fox is pulling from, even though it said parentheses CDC, we can assume that Florida did worse. Because we covered it. We know that Florida did worse, right?
Yeah. 400 would be around the ballpark for it to be 29% higher. Which, again, isn't surprising. The reporting throughout the entirety of COVID is that Florida is doing bad. Florida is doing much worse than the rest of the country to fight people's things. I really want to know where Fox News is pulling these numbers from and how they're pulling these numbers, because it's like you can do the data science thing where you go and really make up any story from whatever data set that you can.
Yeah, Ron,
it's all about manipulation.
Yeah, Ron said age adjusted too, as Froggy Gumdrop put in the chat.
I don't know
what advantage would that give? Age adjusted, would that smooth out the differences per like older people dying more likely from COVID?
Yeah, because Florida had a huge elderly population.
So is he saying that as a way to like avoid taking the hit that he would have gotten from older people dying?
Is he doing the Louisiana, well, if you don't count black maternal mortality, then our maternal mortality rates are actually great with the rest of the country?
Yeah, if you don't count the old people, we did fine. But overall, I think Ron DeSantis is coming across, maybe this is my bias, but I feel like DeSantis is coming across very angry, but he's still delivering the layups that Sean Hannity's giving him.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think. I think he's I wouldn't say he's necessarily like sinking it, but it's been real easy for him, especially when you talk about something like taxes, because there's really, unless people are making a concerted effort to pay attention and actually think through what the taxes are doing, like why the taxes are there, as soon as you hear higher taxes in California, you lose.
Yeah.
Like you lose. We talked about it when Nikki Haley was arguing with Tim Scott about the gas tax. As soon as he got her ass on having a gas tax, it's like, you're done. You might as well pivot and change the subject.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, again, it's the point gruesome Gavin Newsom made. It's that, taxes are higher, but higher on who? It's higher on the people that can afford to pay them. And when you don't have progressive taxes and you have a tax structure like Florida, it's going to shift the burden onto lower income people. And like Newsom said, in Texas, it's worse because it's property tax based. But they're coming back right now.
James LaFrezza, the fact that total debts are even close shows how bad it was. That's insane. That's insane.
That's true. Yeah. Gavin Newsom and Governor Ron DeSantis. Gentlemen, let's move on to the issue of borders. Joe Biden's message to illegal immigrants during his campaign was, let them come.
Oh, that's not true. Actually, it was literally the opposite.
Taking office, Biden said he's gotten control of the border. Vice President Kamala Harris.
That's not, bro.
Sure, maybe during the campaign.
Mayorkas, Biden's press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre have all said the border is either
he really hit that Jean.
The message that Kamala Harris gave, endorsed by Biden, was do not come to the southern border.
Damn.
That was what they said, and
what is he
kind of just lying.
Encounters with illegal immigrants and so-called asylum seekers at the border. Since President Biden took office, the administration says, well, they don't know how many people actually are in the country illegally. Gentlemen, the American people, I ask you, I believe it's your turn, Governor Newsom, have the American people on the issue of borders, you're defending the Biden administration, they're saying the border's secure, they're saying the border's closed. Those are the numbers from our own Border Patrol. Are the American people being lied to?
I don't think they're being lied to. The Biden administration put out a comprehensive plan day one when he got sworn into office 3 years ago, and the Republican Party didn't touch it. They haven't moved on it. They play politics with us. And I'll be honest with you, I think there's probably one person I wouldn't listen to on this topic more than the guy that I'm standing next to, Ron DeSantis. He lacks any credibility on the issue of immigration. When he was in Congress, he supported
buses migrants to
When he's in Congress, you supported John Boehner's bill. It's a fact.
False.
When you were in Congress, you supported Obama's efforts to advance comprehensive reform.
False.
The last guy you want to talk to on the issue of immigration, your immigration policy can best be described as a governor from the state of Florida going into another state, the state of Texas, lying to migrants, promising them jobs and housing, sending them to an island, Martha's Vineyard, and then sending them to a parking lot in Sacramento, California. I met with those migrants that you lied to under false pretense.
This is good.
That kind of gamesmanship, using human beings as pawns, I think is disqualifying. So again, a guy who stands here, who's been out on the Republican debate stage saying, well, he's going to be tough, he's going to shoot people with backpacks, and that he has a strategy to potentially even invade our second largest trading partner, Mexico.
Yes,
that has a record of supporting amnesty and supporting reforms under the Obama administration, is the last guy to be standing on stage talking about the issue of immigration reform tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's deja vu all over again with that flurry of lies. This is a guy that says the Biden administration is not lying to the public.
The classic
about
conservative
the
strategy.
They go to the White House
lie.
Every day. They say the border's secure. They are lying to you. We know that that's not true. Gavin Newsom is lying to you when he says somehow I supported these things, which I didn't do. He's also lying to you about what it's going to take to solve this problem. California is a sanctuary state. They thumb their nose at federal immigration law, and this has real consequences. There was an illegal alien, Herbert Nixon Flores, who was in L.A.,
this guy
in custody. He was a repeat criminal,
and
ICE wanted to take him into custody because then they would be able to deport him. L.A. refuses to work with ICE, and so they wouldn't turn him over.
That's not L.A.'s responsibility, dog. It's a city.
He ends up murdering the mother of a 3-year-old little girl. Those policies are deadly.
Obviously, that's wrong, but this argument is the same fundamentally as when Breitbart had a black crime tab on their website, just so you could see the black crime being committed across the country.
It's an anecdote. It's not representative at all.
French Laundry. These liberal elites, they like to impose burdens on you. They don't want to have to face the consequences of their actions. So we've got a lot of elites who want open borders, who
he is an Ivy League
else
guy.
about it. And the minute they have to deal with any of the consequences, oh man, all hell breaks loose.
How about the consequences?
Hold on, we're moving on. We're moving to the next question.
We'd be much better
on the same topic. On the same topic, this is important. This is a very important question. While some migrants I know want to come to America for a better life for themselves and their family, find the American dream, I totally sympathize with them. Many good people fleeing very bad situations abroad. But others are abusing the asylum process. And in
how do you abuse the asylum process
of where they're coming from?
Because it's so kind.
We're now learning that many are coming from some of our top geopolitical foes, countries with little to no vetting, or people that are coming in. They're not being vetted. Look at these numbers. Between October 2021, October 2023, border agents encountered 6,386 nationals from Afghanistan, 3,150
Look at all the Afghans coming in.
CBP data leaked to Fox
from
News.
Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, 538 from Syria, 12,605 from Russia, and a whopping 26,113 from China.
How do we
China's
know?
the 7th of the world population, by the way.
It's also just like, how do we know?
What are the odds
that the southern border maybe?
Or that these are like terrorists and terror cells unvetted into this country?
The well has been poisoned.
Is that a clear and present danger to every American?
The odds are 100%.
And then to give it to Ron
our enemies are going to take advantage of this. He opened the border. He's not. He's violating his oath of office to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. He's knowingly having 8 million come in. And yes, there's criminal aliens. There are terrorists. There's a lot of fentanyl. That we've had tens of thousands of fentanyl deaths. I've I've met a lot of angel parents who have lost kids to fentanyl overdose. And the problem is, you'll have a college kid that may take some pill not knowing that there's fentanyl in it. And then right there, that can be fatal. They're poisoning our people. And Joe Biden is sitting on his hands.
Please mention Merrick Garland and the DOJ bringing formal charges to people responsible for this. Please.
Of Biden, Harris, Newsom. Open borders. Americans suffer, and Americans continue to die because of fentanyl. There will be, unfortunately, a terrorist attack at some point that we'll be able to trace back to our southern
border. They're so hungry for it.
By the way, do you see that risk, Governor Newsom?
Hold on.
Governor, do you see the risk?
Joe Biden put out not only a comprehensive plan, he consistently puts up plans. Hold on, but Sean,
is there a risk?
I'm going to answer your question. I support border security. I think the asylum system.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
I believe that we need.
I understand that.
I'm the only guy here that's a border state governor. You're trolling folks and trying to find migrants to play political games, to try to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump. And by the way, how's that going for you, Ron? You're down 41 points in your own home state. On the issue of immigration, Joe Biden put a $14 billion immigration package up in front of Congress. 2,300 border agents, as well as custom officials. 1,000 new law enforcement officers to deal with the fentanyl issue. And by the way, that's a major issue in your state. 41% higher overdose rates than the state of California. And here's what I haven't heard. Not a peep from Ron Desantis. They want to demagogue this issue. You want to play politics with issues. You don't want to solve this issue. Why don't you lead your party and support that $14 billion package?
Hold on. I have a follow-up. Governor Newsom, I appreciate your answer. You have mentioned comprehensive immigration reform many times. It's not happened under Joe Biden. I don't think it's going to happen next year.
Put a detailed plan in. Republicans in Congress refuse to act on it.
Let me finish my
Congress
question.
To work with this administration.
Was, with all of these millions and millions of people coming into this country unvetted, the question was and remains, is this a clear and present danger from the countries I put up on the screen? Is that a clear and present danger to America?
And
what do you do?
The xenophobia is crazy.
The president of the United
and it's also
States,
just yes or no to my improper framing.
Congress they can act on today.
And what would that?
They haven't done.
I framed this issue so you can't possibly answer it in a way.
It's way too loaded.
I support the $14 billion package president's put forward that includes 2,300 border agents and customs officials. By the way, also includes $850 million in new technology for border security. You hear nothing from Ron DeSantis. You hear nothing, Sean, respectfully. You hear nothing from the Republican Party. They play politics.
I'm almost out of time.
The president put the plan up to address
another break.
Let me ask the question another way. Does it worry you that our top geopolitical foes, the number one state sponsor of terror, Iran, China, Russia, Afghanistan, Syria, that they're at our southern border? You're a border state governor. Does that concern you at all?
Why else would I have put the answer is yes. Why else would I put the National Guard? Why would I have just increased it by 50% on the largest port in the Western Hemisphere in my state? I mean, this guy has no record. The fact that you supported amnesty, the fact you supported Obama.
Oh my God.
So just simplify. The fact that your greatest contribution, Ron, to this debate is shooting people with backpacks.
I don't mind.
That's so inhumane.
I don't mind him lying to me. I don't mind Gavin lying to me, but I do mind him lying to you. He is sitting there saying that Joe Biden is willing to solve this problem. Actually believes this. Joe Biden created this problem. So if he's willing to lie to you about that, you know he's lying to you about all these other facts and figures, about all this other stuff. He's just throwing stuff out to see what sticks against the wall. This is a slick, slippery politician whose state is failing. People are leaving his state, and he's trying to run interference for his failure.
Who's winning the oiled up work contest?
Take our second break. When we come back, we have a lot more ground to cover. Quick break. We have a lot of ground to cover.
Nah, I think.
Why was that so fast?
I think he was able to turn that around. Obviously, we don't like that answer. Obviously, you know our takes on the immigration issue. He's taking it like Biden has barely been better than Trump, if you can even say he's better than Trump. He's invoked Title 42. He's done all of this horrible shit. It's detention centers instead of kids in cages. But I think from the only framing that Gavin Newsom himself could tackle the problem, he did a really good job at navigating that loaded question.
Yeah, he started off well, too, with just describing how completely inhumane and unthinkably brutal Ron DeSantis' policies would be. But again, to be clear, not that Democrats are that much better than Republicans on immigration, but specifically when we're contrasting these two, Ron DeSantis is obviously worse. Given what he said, given what he's done to migrants, given what we've seen his contemporaries like Greg Abbott do. So it's clearly Republicans are worse on the issue.
Greasy Gavin, why won't the meatball say it? I don't know. Maybe because he recognized it'd be a good pairing.
Greasy Gavin Newsom.
God damn, slick and slippery. I think it's more than two, Rose.
He is slick and slippery. But I've noticed that Ron DeSantis has fully retreated into the nuh-uh response.
Nuh-uh. And it's like you could pull up his record.
Yeah.
You could pull up his voting record.
Yeah, he's completely retreated into the nuh-uh. I didn't do that. Nuh-uh.
Oh, it could be an ad break after each topic. That makes sense. Sean Steve looking real fake tonight. You guys tug each other on there, huh?
What are you talking about,
Sean,
bro?
You guys tug each other on your show breaks, don't you?
Somebody came in and was like, I can't believe these guys are talking over it again.
Somebody did?
Yeah, early on.
That's crazy, bro.
What do you, like, I mean, I guess this one, I was wondering if Fox News is going to take us down.
Because of the cable
thing? This is supposed to be cable specific, and we're streaming it. So maybe the VOD might not stay up, actually. I don't know, but we'll see.
Maybe we'll leave the VOD up for like a week, if it can stay up that long, or like a couple days.
Also, just for people that don't know, when we're talking about immigration, there's no real evidence to suggest that immigration at the rates that it is happening at right now hurts the United States economically. Although drug trafficking is certainly an issue, as we've talked about before, drugs come through regular ports of entry, drugs come through the northern border as well. And the way that we hyper focus on the southern border as the kind of like source of evil for all of our problems is just motivated by racism and xenophobia.
100%. It's just brown people bad.
Yeah.
It's just look, the brown people scary, white replacement theory.
And the reason I was so shocked when he brought up the 6,000 Afghans, 26,000 Chinese people is he's just listing what Americans consider to be scary ethnicities, and he's saying they're coming into the country.
It's just our foreign adversaries.
You're just listing a number of people from these countries that have come into the country, over the last year or several months or whatever the figure was. And it says nothing about
Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis now.
It says nothing about who the people are, what the people do, what their criminal records are. He's just saying they are scary. Isn't this a problem? You can't know anything about a person just by what country they come from.
We also need immigrants because our birth rate is too low.
That's the case with a lot of developed nations. The birth rate declines. And immigration does help that, by the way. You're not wrong. It's also brought in by, law enforcement famously loves the fent.
Who knows? Maybe Hamas will launch their Fent IBCMs at us.
That's the other component, Tail. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Drug issues, of course, are tied in with poverty, mental illness, economic inequality. People don't turn to drugs purposefully when they're going through a good time, right? You don't start taking Fent when you're having a great time in your life. It's not a thing that happens. And even if you did, the state should, to some degree, intervene to ensure that if you're going to take drugs, you do it in a way that doesn't get you killed.
Yeah.
And that's what Joe Biden has tried to do, and Republicans have criticized him for it.
They got on there, they got up in arms about, you're giving needles to drug addicts without understanding that it's a harm reduction measure. It's not to encourage the use of drugs. It's to say, if you're going to use drugs, which you are, let's be real, you're homeless and probably mentally ill as well, or at least mentally destitute, will at least encourage the safe use of drugs.
Yeah.
Back to this.
Welcome back to the great Blue State
intellectual
debate with Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Ron DeSantis. Again, thank you both for being here.
DeSantis X Newsom on AO3 is
I don't mind the debate taking on a life of its own, but let each other breathe. I don't want to be the hall monitor. Please don't turn me into that.
Shut up.
He's a liberal.
Let's look at the issue of crime. FBI numbers, violent crime nationally for each of your states.
Keep in mind, the
statistic shows what is the combined rate of homicide,
the LA Sheriff's Office
rape,
said,
pretty sure
robbery,
murder,
aggravated
and
assault
gun violence is worse for Florida.
Really?
I think.
On the national level, the rate was 380.7
it's a bigger
offenses
state.
per 100,000 people. In California, meanwhile, the rate was much higher, 499.5 offenses per 100,000. In Florida, lower, 258.9 offenses per 100,000.
Crime.
Governor Newsom,
COVID
let me start with
I just
you.
don't know if
Your
I
numbers are way
believe
higher
any of
than the
this.
national average. How do you explain that?
Wait,
when
they're just going to show just
security,
violent
I
crime?
would argue, is a prerequisite for the pursuit.
You can't show a broad category like violent crime and say explain all of this.
5% violent crimes in the state of California from the 1990s. And I want to compare and contrast that with the issue in Florida that you didn't mention, and that's the murder rate.
There we go.
Let's broaden it more broadly. The issue is 7 out of the top.
Those numbers
10,
were part of the murder rate.
7 of the top
part of
10
they
murder
also
rates
include
in the United States of America are red
assaults.
states.
They also include
He has a
robberies.
66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. He has a higher murder rate. Go to places like Jacksonville.
red state
Go to places like Orlando. Go to places like Tampa. The murder rate's off the charts compared to cities like San Francisco. And you know what? Even more egregiously, Sean, and I think this is important, the American people deserve an answer from you, Ron. You had one of the worst mass shootings in American history, Parkland. 17 kids were gunned down, lives lost, 17 others, lives torn asunder. You had a young girl by the name of Jamie Gutenberg, whose father pleaded with you to do something about it. And you know what you did? You did the exact opposite. You made it easier for felons to get guns without background checks, without any training. These people pleaded with you, the parents and the families, to get tough on gun safety. And again, you made it easier for felons. He said of you, Ron, and I agree with him, after you signed that concealed carry bill, which increases the likelihood, Fred Gutenberg said, of more Jamies losing their lives and more Parklands, he called you weak, pathetic, and small. So with respect, I appreciate you're talking police officers in the state of California. You may want to spend a little bit more time, not on the Ohio Trail and other places across this country. You may spend a little more time back in your home state and address the murder and gun violence in your own backyard.
So this is the slick politician. You put up the rates. He has 500 per 100,000. Florida is 250. So that's almost twice as much. And he's trying to spin that to say California's doing good. People are leaving California in droves.
Oh my God!
Largely because public safety has collapsed.
He can't do anything to address.
I mean, you go when Californians come to Florida. One of the things they'll say, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. They can go to the store, get toothpaste off the shelf, pay for it, and leave, because in a lot of these places in California, everything's under lock and key because they basically legalized retail theft. They have chosen in California to put the interests of the criminals over public safety. They treat they're easier on sex offenders. They're easier on all these crimes that are leading to a collapse in the quality of life. And if you just walk around San Francisco, you will see, and I think it's interesting. Real. Gavin Newsom was mayor of San Francisco. So he took the San Francisco model, turned that into a template for California's collapse. Now the left wants to take the California model and use that as a template for America's collapse. We cannot let that happen.
I got a follow-up question.
You brought up Jacksonville, Florida, compared to San Francisco, is 126% higher.
Governor, let me bring up
it's 84%
the next question dovetails into this.
It's 75% higher.
Let me also say,
what are you talking about when it comes to this?
I know you like to jabber.
By the way, those are all actually
you like to lie.
Anytime you're uncomfortable,
he put the statistics up there.
Those are all facts.
Your crime is higher.
What are you doing about
we know your crime is higher.
Gentlemen, what are you
doing about the gun murder rate?
We know your crime is higher.
Let the audience look at the numbers, the FBI numbers, and decide. According to the gun control advocacy group, Every Town for Gun Safety, okay? California has the most, as you support, I know, Governor, restrictive gun laws in the United States.
There was a
Florida has the 19th most restrictive. Yet, if you look at the year 2019, when each of you took office,
oh my God,
California has had.
There's more people in California. You can't just pull raw numbers,
9. Now, that is according to a USA Today, AP, Northeastern University.
Debate.
No, absolutely. These numbers are absolutely stacked.
Keep in mind, a mass killing is defined as the intentional killing of 4 or more victims, excluding the deaths of unborn children.
I'd say just having a little over 2 mass shootings in fucking California, a little over 2 times the mass shootings in fucking California
what California wants to do is
way better than Florida having
law-abiding citizens
just under
to defend themselves. Then they go
considering
easy on the criminals
enormous
who are
size.
perpetrating the crime. They don't stand up for the men and women of law enforcement. That's why a lot of people have left the state, because they don't get the support from the communities that they need. And Gavin told another lie. He said Gavin made it easier for felons to do. Felons are not allowed to possess firearms. That's federal law.
No, they can't.
That is an absolute lie that he's saying.
I've never heard of the gun show loophole.
To do with buying or purchasing a weapon. So that's just a lie, another lie that's coming up. But here's the thing. People are leaving California in droves because he has failed to stand up for public safety. They are on an ideological joyride to let people out of prison early, to go easy on them. Heck, your buddy, Gavin's buddy in Los Angeles, Gascon, he doesn't even prosecute. When you have, when I was in Southern California for the Reagan debate, a lot of the women tell me they have to take off all their jewelry just to be able to go shopping, because otherwise they're going to get mugged. That is the reality that people are facing in California. Gavin can try to put lipstick on that pig, but the fact of the matter is he has failed the people of California.
No, I love this guy talking about backing the blue. When you dangled pardons for January 6th insurrectionists, 85 of them that were literally were charged with attacking law enforcement. You talk a big game about backing the blue. With all due respect to the crime rate, again, he's not answering the fact that he has a higher murder rate than the state of California, a 66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. And I can easily answer this point. Gun safety saves lives. I don't think it, I know it. And the data bears that out in the state of California. California proudly does lead in terms of common sense gun safety. Common sense gun safety saves lives. You had the chance to do something meaningful. You had a chance to do something on behalf of those Parkland families. You did the exact exact opposite. You moved in the exact opposite direction. With all due respect, look at your own backyard, Ron.
So
You're not mining your backyard on this issue.
I will do that because we have we had two radical left Soros district attorneys, like your buddy Gascon in LA, one in Tampa, one in Orlando. They were endangering the public, and I removed them from their posts.
Didn't he get in
Gavin
trouble
Newsom
for
has
that?
not lifted a finger to rein in Gascon in LA.
Didn't he get in trouble for that, for removing a DA?
I don't remember.
I think we covered it a little bit ago. This is like months ago.
So that's just and here's the thing.
American
this is what's happening. That California model.
Yeah, where
in Philadelphia,
15 seconds. We got to go break.
Come on.
Oh my God.
You're running for president of the United States. You're talking down the great state of California. You're talking down one of the great American cities, Los Angeles. That's insulting. And you're doing it because you're trying to obfuscate the facts that you have a higher murder rate in the state of Florida and the state of California.
We got to
take some of the lowest crime rates we've had in 50 years.
Well, we'll have more. With
It's
Governor
definitely a
DeSantis,
break
Governor
after
Gavin
each
Newsom
topic.
on the other side as we continue
fine
the
with
great
that.
state debate.
It's fine. It's a good format. This is going slotted for 2 hours till 11, right?
Oh my God, Word. Thank you so much.
Word, holy
If I lived in California, I wouldn't be able to donate this since I'd be taxed 95%. The remaining 5 would be stolen by a homeless crack addict in downtown.
Don't forget to take your jewelry off.
Okay, so that was all about gun violence. I don't know a ton about the specific gun statistics for like Florida versus California. It is true that California's had more mass shootings, but for
Obviously.
it's difficult for an individual state to regulate the trafficking of guns, since you can, like, for example, in Michigan, even though we have some gun laws, you can just go over to Ohio and get a gun if you want and then come right back.
We don't even need to use Michigan. We can use things that conservatives talk about all the time. It's Illinois. Conservatives love to talk about how Illinois has very restrictive gun laws, yet there's still crazy gun violence in Chicago. It's because they just leave.
Yeah.
They just go get the gun an hour out and then come back.
My guess would be that the mass shooting problem, I know that mass shooting is an issue for the United States as a whole. And the reason that California or Florida or any other state can't curb mass shootings on their own is because we don't have nationwide gun control that can apply everywhere. But states can work to minimize their own gun violence rates, because gun violence is going to be more common than mass shootings are, just by definition. States can work to curb their gun violence rates by implementing more restrictive gun laws. But you also have to remember, California is the biggest state in the country.
Yeah.
They're going to have more individual instances that you can flash up on screen and make Ron DeSantis look good of mass shootings, because they're the bigger state.
Mm-hmm. It's also just I can't get over the insanely disingenuous framing here.
Oh my God, it's gotten worse.
To be fair, I didn't expect much from Fox News, but I expected, like, I don't know, a little bit of something, I guess. Maybe I gave Hannity too much credit when he opened it up talking about being having a fair debate, that maybe we'd get some stuff on both sides going. But as soon as the lie about the COVID numbers came through, or maybe it wasn't a lie, maybe it was just insanely cherry-picked, either way, same difference, right? Just violent crime in general, that's assault, that's like fights at bars. Violent crime is robberies, like armed robberies, anything like that. Like, it can include so much. That's not necessarily what people think about when they think of violent crime.
Yeah, that was the point that I immediately was like trying to go off about, is like, you say violent, like, yes, violent crime is worse overall in California, but you're not discriminating based on like what the type of violent crime is. Like the worst type of violent crime that usually we talk about is murder. And murder's worse in Florida per capita. And Gavin Newsom brought that up. And gun violence is worse. Like, if we're not going to delineate based off what kind of violent crime we're talking about, it's almost it is a waste of time to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because then we're playing for political points. We're playing for rhetoric. We're not playing for making actual truth statements.
And it's also the fact that DeSantis didn't have to engage with what Gavin brought up.
Yeah.
And because Hannity is going out here and showing stats to load the question before he answers it, Ron DeSantis can just defer to those stats, the cherry-picked stats, or even the fake stats, maybe.
Has anybody else noticed that he will always follow up with Gavin Newsom to say, well, what about this? What about this? And he has not following up with Ron DeSantis. He's not followed up at all.
The most we got out of him is, that's not true.
He was reciting the Parkland story about how a father was upset with Ron DeSantis, and he also said, and then he was like, that's also not true.
Oh my God.
What do you his whole debate tactic is just nuh-uh. Insane.
Damn. It's good, man. It's good. I feel like he hasn't come off as necessarily like unlikable as I would have thought so far, But hell, man, this shit is...
The one missable low IQ point that DeSantis made was like, what do you mean felons can't get guns? That's federal law. And it's like, when you have less background checks, you're less likely to catch that they're a felon, and then they can buy a gun. That's why background checks are important, you fucking idiot. Like, come on.
Wait, you can't have a gun. You're a felon.
Yeah.
That's illegal.
That's illegal. What do you mean you're killing someone? That's illegal.
They can't do that. That's illegal. The murder rate's not bad in Florida. It's illegal. Murder's illegal in Florida.
What else do you want me to do?
Hi, welcome back to Hannity, the great red state, blue state debate. We continue with Governor Ron Desantis of Florida, Governor Gavin Newsom of the state of California. Gentlemen, let's turn to the issue of parental rights. Now,
parental
in
rights.
March of last year, Governor DeSantis, as you know, you signed the Parental Rights in Education bill.
Don't say gay.
And let me read from it. It says, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation
and it was expanded.
Identity
if he doesn't say that, it's an omission.
May not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate,
12th grade,
right? According with state standards.
And it was expanded.
The bill, quote, homophobic.
Entire high
This
schools?
is the one they branded the Don't
If he doesn't say that,
Gay
it's
bill.
insane.
I ask you, Governor DeSantis, in especially the lower grades, should schools, and maybe all grades, should schools be focusing on reading, writing, math, science, history, computers, and maybe leaving values?
Who's answering the question?
It's a layup.
Values and teachers of
Sean
school.
Hannity hit the half-court shot. Ron DeSantis is tapping it at the end.
Institutions. Or is it the role of the school? What is the role?
The role of the school is to educate kids, not indoctrinate kids. It's not to impose an agenda. It's to do the basics. And what we've said in Florida is it's inappropriate to tell a kindergartner
that other people
that their gender is a choice.
Really
it's
an
inappropriate
agenda.
to tell a second grader that they may have been born in the wrong body. Now, California has that. They want to have that injected into the elementary school. My wife and I have a 7-5 and a 3-year-old. We don't think that that's appropriate. And I know most parents do not think it's appropriate. It's also important to respect parental rights. Straight up, what curriculum is being used in the classroom, and everything should be age appropriate. I actually have something that I brought
Not a prop.
that some parents have objected to.
Ron,
this is a book that's in some of the schools in California. Florida, this is not consistent with our standards.
Reading
called Gender Queer. Some of it's blacked out. You would not probably be able to put this on air.
I remember
this
we covered this book.
It's
we covered this book, getting banned in Florida,
and it's wrong. So this should not be.
I'm sure it's also
in schools,
in high schools.
When people like on the left say that somehow you're banning books by removing this.
This is a graphic novel that has some what he calls pornographic images.
Sex,
It's not required curriculum. It's a book you can get from a library for high schoolers.
Situation where some states just trample on the rights of parents. Parents have a fundamental right to direct the education and upbringing of their kids.
No, they don't.
1,406 books have been banned just last year under Ron DeSantis' leadership. I love that he keeps pulling this out. I've seen this. He's been doing this all over the campaign trail. What's wrong with Toni Morrison's books?
It's not banned.
What's wrong? It's not true.
Not.
What's wrong with Amanda Gorman's?
It's not banned.
And the poetry.
Not banned.
1,406. 1,406 books have been banned.
Fake news. Fake news. Ivy League fake news.
Florida, as it relates to parental rights. Come on. California, it's in our Constitution, parental engagement. It's called the LCFF process. We actually require parental engagement on curriculum development. And we don't. Complete lie. We don't require K through 3rd grade sexual education. That doesn't happen until middle school. What you're doing is using education as a sword for your cultural purge.
Yes.
And you know what? With all due respect, you know, I remember in the 1970s. In the 1970s, we had a bill called the Briggs Initiative. And there was a guy by the name of Ronald Reagan, so offended by the Briggs Initiative, which was the original Don't Say Gay bill. In that case, it was not allowing teachers that happened to be gay to teach. And Reagan had the courage to stand up, and he said, you can't catch gay like you can measles. I don't like the way you demean people. I don't like the way you demean the LGBTQ
Reagan also famously ignore the AIDS epidemic.
I really find this fundamentally offensive.
He's not the arbiter of LGBTQ issues.
I see what you're doing.
The values of my state and, frankly, the vast majority of Americans against the weaponization of education and the purging that he's advancing.
I have a follow-up question for you, though. And by the way, first, Governor, yes or no, Are the book banning issues, is that not a state issue? Is that a state issue or a local issue?
Local, and he's
okay. That's all I want to know.
But it's happening in your state, Governor.
1,400
Here's the
books.
question
You could
I have
speak out against
Governor
it.
Newsom.
106.
Some of the books you're talking about, one is called, the governor just brought it up, it's called Gender Queer, a memoir.
Oh my God.
Explicit pornographic book showing sex acts. Another, Flamer, graphic book about young boys performing sex acts at summer camp. This book is gay, a book containing instructions on the ins and outs of gay sexuality. Let me finish. Let's talk about it, a book that contains graphic descriptions about how to
there was a book
for males
banned
and females.
somewhere.
My question to you,
I don't
Governor
know
Newsom,
if it was Florida or not. We covered it about a year ago. That was about surviving after you've been sexually assaulted. Like that's what these people are doing in banning.
Those are books that were in school.
Hold on.
In libraries.
The bottom line is you are on a book banning binge, your state. 1,406 books, 3,362 in this country.
You didn't answer.
Florida's
what about those books?
Oh my God, bro!
We don't provide for K through third grade education that kind of curriculum. It's just made up. These guys make it up. It's part of this cultural purge.
Should it be?
It's just a made
what grade? What grade would it be acceptable?
What I find offensive, Sean and Ron, what I find offensive is a very significant number of these books.
It's book by book you determine this stuff. You
can LGBTQ
list them and ask.
A significant number of these books.
I need you to personally tell me at what age it's acceptable to do every single book.
We don't teach that. We have sex education in middle schools and high schools where it's appropriate. This is a ginned up, made up issue to divide this country. You talk about dividing this country. This is part of the culture war, the weaponization of grievance. This is part using education. We're focusing on math, science. We're focusing on reimagining our school system.
We're going to get to education
He's criminalizing teachers and criminalizing librarians that check out the wrong book.
The schools to impose a liberal agenda, social justice. They have this ethnic studies where they're dividing people. That's what they're doing. But let me just say something
social
about
justice is such a bad
he says
thing.
California respects parents' rights. This is rich. He's been telling a lot of whoppers.
He's been rich.
This
a lot of whoppers
in California. If you're a parent in Iowa or New Hampshire or South Carolina, your minor child can go to California without your knowledge or without your consent.
How would they
get an abortion?
And get hormone therapy, puberty blockers, and a sex change operation, all without you knowing or consenting. How in the heck is that honoring parents' rights when you're bringing people from out of state to go around their parents' backs and getting life-altering surgeries? That is radical. That is
Ron,
extreme.
these kids
that is an assault on parents' rights.
You know what, Ron?
It's not for you to decide. It's for the parents to decide.
It's the parents to decide what happens to their children's bodies.
These kids have the highest suicide rate.
Those under 18 in California have to obtain permission from their parents or guardian to access medical treatment for gender transition.
Ripping somebody away.
Nice, by the way.
Another lie.
Nobody can hear you.
That is wrong. That is wrong.
I'll tell you.
All right.
That should not stand in this country.
Let us turn, gentlemen, if I may, to the issue of education. Here is public school spending per K through 12 students, according to the Education Data Initiative from the U.S.
Oh my God,
Bureau and National Center for Education.
So much.
I saw a rainbow in the sky when I was 4, and now I'm
$12,000 per student, while California spends over $16,000. Florida is ranked #1.
We got to put up a dome that blocks out the sky.
In terms of state education rankings.
Yeah, based on what,
California
dog?
ranks 20th.
Yeah,
I've
seen this report before. I remember, I don't think we ever talked about it because
better results.
I just don't know what it's based on. And I'm sure there are a billion other rankings. Like, I've also heard that Florida is the bottom for education. I know Florida's pretty low in math.
Day, not just the school year. We just provided 3.4 million of our students upwards of $2 billion for child savings accounts and the opportunity to start businesses when they graduate. We have one of the best records under COVID, during COVID. And again, you didn't answer to the fact you had more learning loss. Ron Desantis had more learning loss during COVID. 4th grade reading, 4th grade math, 8th grade reading, 8th grade math.
Property that their parents own.
You in it's a fact.
Whoppers.
During COVID,
These are the bi-coastal
in every one of those
elite.
categories. I can't wait to get all the
bi-coastal elite.
because Ron, you keep denying some basic fundamental facts on health, wealth, and education. We outperformed you during COVID. You talk about things to apologize. You should apologize for your COVID record.
That's a lie.
You were with
False
Fauci.
narrative.
You aligned with vaccines. You aligned with CDC guidelines until you didn't, and tens of thousands of people died.
Let's return our focus to education.
That's so funny that that's in this.
We bucked all of those people June of 2020. He kept the schools closed.
No, I did not. I did not listen to scientists.
Devastating impacts. And why? What Gavin Newsom does in California is kowtow to the teachers union.
Jesus Christ,
I agree. Word is freaking awesome.
He does.
Jen
He
here.
will never balk the teachers union. That's why the kids were locked out of school for so long. Joe Biden is in the pocket of the teachers union, and so is Kamala Harris. That's why
you know, Joe Biden's sleeping with the
teachers. When they had that in
Ron, it's Kamala
Biden came
Harris,
into office and he brought in the teacher union.
Oh, chill.
That's
Come on now.
corny.
Come on now.
To try to keep the schools closed. So the country, they are owned lock, stock, and barrel by the teachers union. I beat the teachers union in Florida to get the schools open, first in the country during COVID.
Teach your kids,
also
dog.
to do universal school choice. Every parent in Florida has a right to send their kid to the school of their choice. We're winning these fights. California is bending the knee to the union because they control.
Small Florida government has been fighting back against a big teacher this whole time.
Future elections, and it's the issue of abortion. I have a question for both of you. I'll ask you to please respect the individual's right to answer uninterrupted. And that is Governor DeSantis.
Big teacher.
I think it's actually your turn, Governor Newsom, if you don't mind.
All good.
Most medical professionals believe a baby is viable outside of a mother's womb by between 24 and 26 weeks.
Okay.
That is the general scientific consensus. It changes. There are some variations on it. Abortion is legal in your state, quote, up to viability, is my understanding, unless the mother's health is in danger. I'd like to get you on the record. You've been unwilling to answer this question.
Oh my God, Alexia Benatti, thank you so much. Sorry I'm so late.
Should there be any restrictions
I legit forgot about this
on the issue of abortion
resident, born
that
and
you
raised in coastal
support
San Diego,
at
only
all?
child living in Canada. My
Because
parents died
funding in
98.
California, you have allocated in your budget $265 million for abortion last year alone. My question, very specific. Do you support any restrictions at all on abortion, especially in months 7, 8, and 9, past viability?
I'm going to answer that question, but let's talk about the issue of abortion. Let's talk about the issue of abortion.
You're going to answer it?
I'm going to answer that question. I'll repeat that. But I think this is important, and it bears repeating. Ron DeSantis signed the most extreme anti-abortion bills in America. He signed a bill banning any exceptions for rape and incest. And then he said it didn't go far enough and decided to sign a 6-week ban before women even know they're pregnant, Ron.
Get his dumb ass.
Before women can even access a doctor's appointment.
Get his dumb ass.
So extreme is your ban that criminalizes women and criminalizes doctors that even Donald Trump said it was too extreme. On the issue of the extreme exception that you highlight as it relates to the issue of later term abortion, it's almost always because of a fetal anomaly, the life of the mother.
Say 1%,
and in those
please.
rare cases, I trust, and answer your question, I trust the mother and her doctor to make that decision.
So in other words, I want to be clear on this. If a woman and her doctor, for any reason,
not for any reason.
No.
I'm extremely rare.
Should there be?
Don't engage.
Where you guys are going, Sean. You're even uncomfortable with this whole issue. And I understand this is where you guys have to go to cover for the extreme anti-abortion agenda.
Hell yeah.
Should there be? Would you support a ban on abortion in 7th, 8th, or 9th month?
I just answered the question.
There's no need for a ban.
Extreme exception. People aren't going on and having abortions.
Should it be illegal?
Oh my God!
If it's rare, should it be illegal?
No. The mother
it's rare, but it happens.
And her conscience, and it
so
almost
the answer is
always.
No restriction.
I've already answered it.
The framing is ridiculous.
Again, hold on. For the most extreme abortion ban in the country, I have a simple question though. This is important.
No. I'm asking the question.
Ron DeSantis, will you or will you not sign a 6-week ban in the unlikely case you become president of the United States?
Let's talk about a national ban. Let's talk about your state.
Answer that. He's getting saved.
You had 15 weeks. You had a 15-week rule in California. You reduced it to 6.
Yeah, he hit that.
My question is this. what was your thinking behind it? Was it for religious reasons? Was it for scientific
this
reasons?
Is so easy.
What was the reason for you?
What was your religious reason for banning
from going from 15 weeks to 6
Was
weeks?
it religious reasons? Yes.
Well, I believe in a culture of life. I think we're better off when everybody counts, when everybody has an opportunity to do well, and that bill attaches when there's a detectable heartbeat for the child. And some states have done that. Some states have done others.
It's not a heartbeat.
Later.
6 weeks is not a heartbeat.
A right to do that.
It's electrical activity. There's no heart.
Tenny Hopper. She actually survived a late-term abortion.
Oh, it's the Trey baby
back in the day, and they left her on the
bring it back, old
the
classics
table there to basically wither away.
Greatest hits.
Bro got that time traveler on Spotify Wrapped. Come on now.
Brought her to a hospital. Brought her, saved her, and she ended up living a good life. So she counts and she matters.
This is also a lie. I'm pretty sure
the position that we have from the modern
there's no way to know it's true.
In California,
and I don't think anyone is alive to corroborate her story.
And they will fund
there are no
all the way
witnesses. She
to the
just
moment
says.
of birth. He's wrong when he says the later terms are all because of this. 88% past 15 weeks are in fact elective from the Florida
past
data.
15 weeks before viability.
Second trimester, which is 8%. 8% at oh my God.
To the moment of birth. He didn't answer
We're gonna fill the bingo
about
card.
any type of protections at all for a baby that has a beating heart, that can feel pain, that is viable.
But hold on.
Respectfully, this is an important conversation. Will you or will you not support
a national?
Sean,
why didn't you?
Yes,
why
you
didn't
did.
You
or will you not support a national ban if it lands on your desk?
Stupid as hell.
You couldn't answer that in any other context.
Okay,
answer
gentlemen,
it tonight. It's a
we're
simple
moving
yes
on
no.
to
By
the
way,
next issue.
Hey,
Of
no, Sean, not a
You
next
never
issue.
gave a week.
The American
Not the
people
next
should know
issue.
this. I'll answer it for Ron DeSantis. He can't answer it. He will sign that extreme 6-week
let me move on.
ban. The American people should know.
He's not pushing back.
This the lightning round. It would be great if you guys cooperated. I'm not a potted plant here.
Bro, shut the fuck up.
You're so corny and nerdy.
We all know that federal policy does have a huge
Who gave this guy a
impact
show
on
for
states.
so long?
We know that.
Anyone
I'm
can get a show.
Three simple questions, and I just want one-word ansers, okay? From the three of you, because
we
we're
should
best.
I'm going to ask 3 loaded questions.
And the issue is right now Joe Biden is president. So I would like both
Gavin
of you
Newsom, are you
to
gay?
give a grade
A third
to
bingo?
Joe Biden overall as president. Governor Newsom, I'll give A.
An A, absolutely.
Governor
I think it's been a
DeSantis.
master
Failed.
A
failure.
corny.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Now, that's your
Now,
campaign
number 2,
president.
are his
That's embarrassing.
policies helping or hurting your individual states? Is it helping the state of Florida?
The inflation is hurting our state big time.
Grade.
Fail. He failed. He's failed on the economy.
The guy just took
Is it
$28
helping the
million
state of
from the
California?
Science and Tech Act.
This is
Thank
so
you, Joe
stupid.
Biden.
What a great way to get out of
accelerating our
the
dominance in
nuanced
manufacturing,
economic question
accelerating
by saying answer
our
with yes or no.
revitalization
Okay,
of
that
our
was a
state.
simple
The answer is
answer.
unequivocally,
Lastly.
absolutely yes.
Okay, I will ask you, Governor DeSantis.
The glazing is crazy.
And he's corny as
I
hell.
have played
so.
over and over again, and Governor Newsom, you have seen over and over again. Joe Biden
Give this man
is
an atomic
experienced what I
wedgie
believe
stat.
to be significant cognitive decline. And in other words, it's the toughest job in the world. Is Joe Biden experiencing this cognitive decline? Is it a danger to the country? Do you find
This is just
when he
classic Fox
speaks,
prime time right here.
What is your reaction to
This
it?
is Hannity's
Yes,
program.
he's in decline. Yes, it's a danger to the country. He has no business running for president. And, you know, Gavin Newsom agrees with that. He won't say that. That's why he's running his shadow campaign.
He's literally not.
He should not be running. He is not up to the job. And it is dangerous for this country.
Well, I will take Joe Biden at 100 versus Ron DeSantis any day of the week at any age. In fact, all of the folks
you think
on the
he's up to the
campaign
job?
trail.
You think he's 100%?
I've been spending
100%?
plenty of time with Joe
100%?
Biden in
Okay.
private
Let
and
him
public.
answer.
You don't know. And by the way, results matter. Inflation now is down to 3.2%. Wages are up to 4.4%.
Like, yeah,
the
he's got
economy
a
is
glazed
booming,
Biden, but, like,
5.2% GDP growth in the
this
last
hard?
quarter. Those are facts
Just
you
say,
don't
yeah, he's
hear
old,
on
but he can
Fox
do it.
News. 14
That's all you gotta
million
say.
jobs, 10 times
Let me
more
Or
than
you
Obama.
say
That was
Trump
the
is 3
lightning
years
round.
younger.
Now,
Biden.
on March
Biden.
31st,
Did he say
1968,
Bidenomics?
President Lyndon
Yeah.
B. Johnson famously said, "I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president."
We talked about this.
Now, despite being an incumbent president who is eligible to run for re-election.
And he should have, by
Governor
the way.
Newsom, I've interviewed you twice on this issue. You say you
was
are
very
not
bad on
running
the
for
Vietnam
president
War,
in
though.
2024.
But Nixon was worse.
In fact, you recently said, quote,
And
you
Henry
think that
Kissinger
Vice
made it
President
worse.
Harris is naturally the one lined up to run for president if Joe Biden were to bow out. Governor Newsom, tonight I ask you, will you make an LBJ like statement. And Governor DeSantis, you say he's running a shadow campaign. In your response, I would like you to answer that. Will you say unequivocally, under no circumstances are you running
Shadow Wizard Money Gang?
I don't know how many times I can say it. Just making this stuff up about a shadow campaign.
Bottom line, if at the DNC convention they come and ask you, will you run? What will you say?
Joe Biden will be our nominee in a matter of weeks. And in a matter of weeks, Sean, he'll be endorsing Donald Trump as a nominee for the Republican Party.
If they come to you at the DNC and Joe is incapable of running,
why are they hammering on this?
Are you a hard no?
It's not even optional. He's doing fantastically. I appreciate and respect the work the president's doing and the vice president's, the Biden-Harris campaign and team. So absolutely unequivocally, I look forward to continuing to support their efforts.
Special grade liberal
will be reelected. Donald Trump will be rejected.
I think what he's saying should color every single thing. I mean, I've called him on a lot of the lies, but he says Joe Biden is 100% up to the job. You know that that's not true. Anybody that can look, he wants you to believe him over your own lying eyes. When he says the economy is so great, how great is it when you're going to the grocery store now? How great is it when you're trying to afford a home? How are those interest rates doing? What about affording a new car? So we have to get real here. We have to understand that Biden is not a job. But here's I think the problem. What Biden would do, the people around him, they would look to California for the model to go forward in the next 4 years. That would accelerate the decline of this country. Freedom is what works. The failures need to be left in the dustbin.
Freedom like book bans and abortion bans.
Hell yeah. To women that you're trying to criminalize in your state. And
we're retreating to old ground. For years,
you got the earpiece. Florida is not a state of freedom.
Yeah, I'm feeding him. He's listening.
Yeah, these mics are going right into his head.
Have a great impact on the citizens of your individual states. For years, a gallon of gasoline, Governor Newsom, in California has been notably higher in your state than in the state of Florida.
That's right.
Here are the numbers, by the way, recent numbers. The average cost for a gallon of gas nationwide, just over $3.24. In Florida,
45 is rough.
$3.17. In California, it is a whopping $4.85.
That's what I'm thinking.
Is that a placeholder?
I ask you, we've also sued big oil companies alleging executives have deceived the public about the health of our planet, knowing that it's a polluter.
DeSantis got the questions early, you think so?
That would likely mean higher gas prices, even higher gas prices for everybody.
It doesn't even matter. He's getting layups. He's getting led so hard.
One source of energy that you can bring online in the next 3 to 6 months that would be as inexpensive for the people in this country.
In the next 3 to 6 months, can you change the entire infrastructure of the fifth largest economy on the planet?
I'm going to get to your question, and then let me touch the latter part of your question. Let me give you the first part of the question. Okay. You're absolutely right. Since the 1980s, Republican administrations, Democratic administrations have experienced, under their stewardship, experienced higher gas prices in the state of California. We've been ripped off by big oil. We continue to be ripped off by big oil. Big oil now has met a new foe, and that's the state of California, the most aggressive anti-gouging law in America, more transparency being required than any time in America. And yes, we're suing the industry responsible for this climate crisis. By the way, the same climate crisis that Ron DeSantis celebrated as human-caused, who campaigned for a fracking ban, who campaigned to oppose offshore oil drilling, and then 2 days after he got elected, signed an executive order. By the way, Nikki Haley had you dead to right on this, Ron. Signed an executive order doubling down, saying you're adamantly opposed to fracking, adamantly opposed to offshore oil drilling. You were celebrated by the Sierra Club for that action until you weren't.
He's a liberal.
Once again, it shows the hypocrisy of Ron DeSantis. Now you're running away from climate change as things have gotten worse. Hurricanes, wildfires, droughts, and floods. $179 billion of weather-related disasters. And he has no response except talking points from big oil.
I wish gas was $2.99.
That was a mouthful. Again, just more lies. But here's the thing. California is the only one that oil companies are gouging. Why aren't they doing that to Georgia or Florida or these other states that have lower gas prices? Because of their policies. That's why people are paying more there. What Gavin Newsom wants to do, what he's doing in California, what Biden wants to do nationally,
gas tax,
is
it's $7 of gas
green
tax.
energy policies. They want to kneecap fossil fuels and reliable energy. We've already seen what's happened in California. They have rolling blackouts. He actually implemented a mandate to buy electric vehicles. So pretty soon in California, you're not going to be able to buy a normal car. Only electric vehicles. He said you're confusing us with Texas. They celebrated that as like a great thing. A couple days later, there was a notice from the state government telling all
Bingo times
owners,
3.
I'm hoping we get 5. You're going to make me blush. They don't have enough grid capacity. So he is walking his people into a big-time disaster. What Biden wants to do is he wants to take the California model. He wants to impose that nationally. He wants to take away your ability to purchase the car that you want. He wants to kneecap reliable energy. And he wants to bring these rolling blackouts all across the United States of America. It doesn't work. It's going to cause huge problems. We have more energy here. We can be the dominant energy producer in the world.
Florida,
and that's what we're going to do. Florida is not a big energy state. We have the Marcellus Shale. We have the West Texas. We have all of that. So let's do that. No forcing electric vehicles.
We got to take
I'll fuck with interrupting.
So do I.
When we come back,
all right, another break.
The great state, red state, blue state debate, more with Governor Ron Desantis, more Governor Gavin Newsom.
No, the interrupting is sick. No, I fuck with it.
My problem with that section is they went through so many topics: abortion, LGBTQ issues, parental rights, education.
Oh my God,
oil.
that was the parental rights section.
Yeah, and we didn't get to comment on like really any of it. DeSantis is wrong on parental rights, of course. You can't get gender reassignment surgery under 18 without parental consent in California. And this is the case basically everywhere in the United States. Abortion, he's wrong on as well. 93% of abortions happen in the first trimester, 6% in the second trimester, 1% in the third trimester, only ever because of medical complications. Yes. People aren't just, when you're that far along in pregnancy, you don't just think, I don't want to do this now.
Yeah, you don't get to the point where you're about to pop and say,
yeah, you intend to do it.
Thank you, Alexi. I've never experienced a rolling blackout in CA ever in my life. Hedota anecdote right here. We got him.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with the way that we manufacture, produce, and sell oil, of course. And I don't know exactly what accounts for the state-by-state differences, but I know it's not just the policies implemented, because as Gavin Newsom said, there's been Republican and Democratic administrations who haven't managed to get gas prices down for California. They've been historically high.
Yeah.
And I would assume that's because they have such a large population that is very reliant on car-centered infrastructure, so they're always going to have to pay for the gas because they don't have any other means of getting around.
Look at those fucking superhighways.
Yeah.
Like, I also know just from I'm Hito the anecdote here. I can go anecdote for anecdote. I've known people who live in California that say that although gas is super high and it's egregious and it fucking sucks for working class people, it's not as bad because if you live in a more densely packed area of California, you're not traveling very far.
True, yes.
You may be in the car for a long time, but you're not traveling as far.
And using as much gas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's also, the Coke is killing you. It's all I had.
Again, it's hard to tell. The source for the gas information was 3 A's. I don't know what that means.
I think it genuinely was a typo. I think somebody fucked up. I think it was
either
a placeholder. Yeah.
Let's say that those numbers are correct. It's hard to tell. Like, is that just an aggregate? Is that an average of all gas prices across California for like the last month, the last year? If we take out cities like Los Angeles, where there's obviously, more people in that city than any other city in the country, how would the gas prices change, right? It's hard to know exactly where they're getting these statistics from. And as has been proven throughout this entire debate, Sean Hannity is manipulating all of these stats to make it easier for Ron DeSantis to answer.
Oh, the car company, like you call AAA? Oh, I'm a dumbass.
Do they track gas prices?
I guess. Fuck. They're also an insurance company. And man, I got Liberty Mutual. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Yeah, no, if Word is lobbying us,
why wouldn't they spell it? If that's their source, spell it out. Spell out the acronym.
Or like put the dots there. Like,
anyway. I think
I guess we're the only ones that didn't get it.
Given that it's a 2v1, I think Newsom is doing pretty
I think
well.
He's doing a great job, other than you call her Madam Vice President.
Yeah, and the glazing, like, I think the best move for liberals defending Joe is to be like, yes, he's old, yes, he has gaffes, yes, he has a stutter, but he's still proven he can get the job done based off of this policy, this policy, this policy, and this policy.
Yeah,
glazing hard makes you seem disconnected from the general population, because we all know Joe Biden is not as, like, physically and mentally fit as he used to be, but that's just a result of him being old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, also, Word carrying the stream.
We got Nico coming in here corroborating our story. corroborating our story about not driving that much in California.
We got George Soros in here corroborating our
Taylor
bank
Clark
account.
with the Liberty Mutual.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Shout out Taylor. AAA is known for road to that. Guys, I know now. I just didn't understand.
You would expect them to spell it out and then put the AAA in parentheses.
To be fair, what does AAA stand for?
Somebody had it in there earlier.
Auto Assisting.
American Auto something?
American Auto Association?
Yes. That's probably it.
Fuck, man.
You can't just drop what looks like a placeholder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sure when I was in middle school doing my little middle school TV thing for my elective, I dropped one of those placeholders one time. $2.99 now? Man, I think gas is pretty low down here.
Welcome back to Hannity, the great red state, blue state debate. We continue with Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Ron DeSantis. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, these are the numbers for the homeless population in each of your states. It is a big problem around the country.
This is true,
in the state of California, it is 172,000.
But you also have to grapple with the reality that blue states, again, have more amenities to support a homeless population, so they literally don't fucking die.
44 per 10,000 people, while Florida has
not to excuse the egregious housing market in California.
Governor DeSantis, I ask you, why the disparity? What are the policies you are implementing that is different from that of California?
California's adopting leftist policies. Gavin Newsom was governor or mayor of San Francisco. He put out a 10-year plan like 20 years ago. He was going to end homelessness. Then a few years later, he had another plan. And now he says he's going to do, and it's only gotten worse. In the last 10 years in California, the homeless has gone up 45%. It's gone down in Florida 45%. But it's caused a huge problem with quality of life in California. The people that flee always bring up this. They've really empowered lawlessness and drug use. And, you know, Gavin Newsom at one point tried to say that California was the freedom state. And I just kind of laughed, like, you're locking people down, you're doing all this. But then I thought about it, you know, California does have freedoms that some people don't, that other states don't.
The freedom to use drugs on the streets?
You have the freedom to defecate in public in California. You have the freedom to pitch a tent on Sunset Boulevard. You have the freedom to create a homeless encampment under a freeway and even light it on fire. You have the freedom to have an open-air drug market and use drugs. You have the freedom, if you're an illegal alien, to get all these taxpayer benefits. So those are freedoms. How that works. They're not the freedoms our founding fathers envisioned, but they have contributed to the destruction of the quality of life in California, and the results speak for themselves. People are leaving the state because they have failed in addressing the homeless population.
Well, I love the rant on freedom. I mean, here's a guy who's criminalizing teachers, criminalizing doctors, criminalizing librarians, and criminalizing women that seek their reproductive care. You're making it harder to vote. You're banning books. I mean, spare me this notion of freedom. Ask the folks at Disney about freedom and free enterprise. Ask the folks at the Special Olympics that you threatened to fine with $27
because they were discriminating against the athletes.
Who goes after Special Olympians when it comes to the issue, Ron, of homelessness?
That is wrong. That's being a liberal bully. That's being a bully. Really? They had Down syndrome, and you wanted to discriminate against them.
$27 million.
They were discriminating against
Special
because they were discriminating.
I don't even know. I don't know anything about this.
They wanted to marginalize the athletes, and you wanted the athletes marginalized. That was wrong. What you did. These are kids with Down syndrome that just wanted to compete.
I grew up working aid to adoption of special kids. I've been working with.
I don't even know what this is about.
I don't either.
You wanted them to be. You wanted them to be ostracized.
You threatened to fine Special Olympians.
What the fuck are they talking about, Chat?
Participate because we stood up for her rights.
This is the way you treat. By the way, no, hold on.
It's your turn.
No, let me say, I can handle that. I can handle it. I'm used to that. But you know what?
You wanted her
your
not to
attacks
compete.
on the trans community, your attack on the gay and lesbian community.
That's wrong.
You attack vulnerable communities. You attack women.
And we made sure they could compete.
Ron, relax. I can handle it. I'm used to bullying. You're nothing but a bully.
You're a bully.
I understand that. Intimidating and humiliating people, that's your calling.
Gavin has done a great job at keeping his composure.
For you?
Why did you want him not to be able to compete?
How well is this campaign going?
He's
not going to let me talk, so
I don't
talk to the
understand
American
why you
people.
want to discriminate
against the blueprint.
He wanted them to be excluded from the Special Olympics.
Has put Ron DeSantis.
I don't think anyone knows what the fuck they're talking about.
I have no idea.
We said that Trump.
Let's go back to the homelessness.
The issue of homelessness has been an issue for decades in the making in the state of California. Ever since we started shuttering down our mental health institutions back in the day, in Ronald Reagan's day. The difference is I'm the first governor in California history to take this head on. We are investing unprecedented resources, more accountability. We've gotten 68,000 people off the streets, close to 6,000 encampments we've gotten off the streets. We've also invested in unprecedented resources in reforming our behavioral health system. Ron has literally the worst mental health system in America, forgive me, outside of Mississippi and Texas. And so with all due respect to being lectured on some of these topics, Ron DeSantis is not
Mississippi's the worst in like everything,
30-second response.
Nice.
Well, I'm looking at total time. Governor DeSantis, about 2 minutes.
He needs it.
This is a map of San Francisco. There's a lot of plots on that. You may be asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco. And you see how almost the whole thing
no way to know that's true.
Means
that is what has happened in one of the previous greatest
and it's like,
cities
what,
this
is there a
country's
dot
ever
when
had.
someone reports
Human
it one time and then it never goes away?
Life, except when a communist dictator comes to town. Then they cleaned up the streets. They lined the streets with Chinese flags. They didn't put American flags.
Did we have China visit
San Fran? They cleaned everything up. So they're willing to do it for a communist dictator, but they're not willing to do it for their own.
That's another thing.
The limited time we have left, I want to get
the props. He's just whipping them out.
We have not hit. After the Hamas terror attacks on October the 7th, we have seen what is nothing short of a disturbing outbreak. Virulent hatred,
do you condemn Hamas
around the world, in the halls of our Congress, on American streets, on college campuses.
Do they both agree?
Last month, outside in Sydney Opera House in Australia. We've seen it all over Europe, but in Australia, anti-Israeli protesters literally in this day and age chanting, "Gas the Jews, F the Jews." In American cities, we have protesters calling for a global Islamic war and demanding that Israel be wiped off the map, or in the words of Congresswoman Khalid, from the river to the sea. Israel, meanwhile, is vowing to eradicate the terrorist group Hamas. But according to a report in the New York Times this week, U.S. officials have warned Israel that they need more to fight more surgically in Gaza.
Good.
Governor Newsom, 30 seconds for you. We have to cut back
at minimum.
on time. All right. How can Israel win the war against this terrorist
group? They are not qualified to
using
answer this question.
surgical strikes and directions from Joe Biden?
Israel. I visited Israel. I met with families of hostages. I saw videos of children being killed in front of their parents, parents being killed in front of their children. I saw a beheading with a garden hoe. This is not complicated to me. It's a fight between good and evil. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they need to be eliminated, not just for the people of Israel and Jews around the world,
just let the IDF
but for
show
the Palestinians
videos
themselves. But when it comes to the issue of anti-Semitism, you just mentioned a lot of things that have been occurring on Ron DeSantis' watch.
That's true.
He said nothing.
The Nazi video.
Marching. I'm saying he countenanced anti-Semitism, and now he's finally talking a big game ever since October 7th. How about the masked man marching in the street? Jews get the rope.
Gentlemen,
you said nothing.
Governor DeSantis.
Nothing on these issues. Look at the record.
Governor DeSantis. Than a second Holocaust. They want to destroy Israel and wipe every single Jew off the map. Israel has
just like Ron DeSantis'
staffers to the hilt. Biden should not be kneecapping them in any way, shape, or form. And by the way, Biden stranded a lot of American citizens over there. We're trying to get home. So I did an executive order in Florida, and we sent planes over to Israel right in the aftermath of October 7th. And we saved over 700 Americans, mostly Floridians, but not all, because Biden wouldn't do it. Finally, Biden started dumping people in Greece, and then they were sending a bill to the Americans just to get to Greece. If you come to this country illegally, they will pay to fly you all over the place. They'll put you up in hotels.
He will pay to fly them all over the place. He will use Florida state funds to fly immigrants all over the place. To Martha's Vineyard.
We stepped up and
let me ask you, I want to turn to the
anti-Semitism.
We don't have a lot of time
on your streets for years.
I want to turn to the issue, gentlemen, of China. I talk about this often. Intellectual property theft, unfair trade practices. That China has been hostile to our fighter jets in international airspace, hostile to our Navy in international waterways. We know all about the China spy balloon that happened 8 days right across the United States over military installations.
That they took down and realized it wasn't a spy balloon.
Buying up thousands of acres of ranch land, farmland, and land near military installations. Their hostility towards Taiwan. They are Governor
Yeah,
DeSantis,
what do these guys have to say about Taiwan?
I don't see that the Biden administration has been tough with them. What would you do?
He just fucked his wife.
Well, first in Florida, we banned China from buying
what else
land
do you
in our
want?
state, because you're right. You don't want them buying farmland or land near military bases. So we acted. We also got the Confucius Institutes out of our universities. China should not be involved in our universities at all.
The Confucius
what you need to do is you need to have hard power in the Indo-Pacific to
kicked
deter
out all of the
China's
Chinese
ambitions.
people.
We need to take the economy
yeah.
and we need to decouple from China. We're dependent on them for so many things. And then finally, we need to get serious about their influence in this country. They shouldn't be able to buy farmland anywhere. I can tell you this, I would not go to China and grovel in front of Xi like Gavin Newsom did. He
Ron
says
has the questions
China's
ahead of time so he can get his prop bag of holding.
China's adding 2 new coal plants every year. China's laughing at us with what they're doing. So yes, they're the #1 threat we face, and we need to take it seriously, and Joe Biden is not doing that.
This is just a reminder.
He fucked his wife. He did the thing.
I think it's a question some people are probably asking. I know Nikki Haley's campaign is asking, when are you going to drop out and at least give Nikki Haley a shot to take down Donald Trump in this nomination?
A1 deflection.
She laid you out.
A1 pivot right there.
You wish.
What about you're a
USDA prime filet
that was looking
deflection
for direct
right there.
foreign trade from China was doing trade
That
shows,
is
open
false.
up an
That's already been debunked.
That's
The liberal fact checkers. Even the liberal fact checkers
Donald
did
Trump
that.
himself today called you Red Ron for a reason, because of your complete hypocrisy.
All right, we're almost out of time.
He's cutting him off.
I confronted Xi on the issue of fentanyl, Ron. I confronted them
not on human rights. You didn't.
I absolutely did, with the foreign minister and the vice president.
Yeah,
and
hold
other
on
leaders
now.
in China. You talk a big game. Meanwhile,
We're
you haven't done
over
anything
time.
except tweet things
Final
out.
question,
keeps
Governor
cutting him
DeSantis. We owe you about 90 seconds, but you get the last word as per the coin flip.
What are you giving me?
Oh, this
5
is
seconds?
last.
What do I get?
No, I'll do okay. I'll be a little more generous than
give
that.
him the
Look, it's been a very passionate debate tonight. Actually, it's been fun to be a part of. I think the American people will decide. Governing philosophies could not be more different. But let me ask you this, kind of a fun question. You both
vote off
your
the
states. You visited each other's state. Governor DeSantis, you can take as much time as you want. You have an extra 90 seconds. What is your favorite thing about the state of California? And
I give him 5 minutes for this.
go right ahead.
That's a good question.
All right, we'll stay longer. 5 minutes, Governor.
When I got orders as a Navy lieutenant to go to Naval Amphibious Base Corps,
A lawyer,
I had not
Navy
spent
lawyer.
any real time in California in my life. Florida native, and I'm very proud of the state. But I got down there, and that Strand is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And then all up and down, just a tremendous coastline.
You're a hero,
I do
Rose.
believe California has more natural advantages than any state in the country, which is why when you have so many people leaving on net, that's hard to do. Like, people don't want to leave there because it really is such a beautiful area. And I'm proud of the military installations that are there. I'm proud of what the Navy's been able to do in conjunction with the state. It was really
I love the state violence
duty.
there.
It really helped forge me as an individual.
That's where he learned how to torture
American.
people.
And so I'll always have very, very fond memories of that nice Strand down there in Southern California.
I love that. I mean,
What do you
Reagan.
what do you I don't know what you love
Reagan
about
used to call
California.
California the coast of dreams. By the way,
What do you love about Florida?
What I love about your question is the comedy in the question, meaning, you know what? We all want to be loved. We need to be loved. We all want to be protected, respected, and connected. I think there is a unity frame here.
Okay.
You said it well. I mean, Ron, I have no doubt Ron DeSantis loves this country. I love this country. It's not about red versus blue. It's red, white, and blue. The United States of America. And I think we're all better off, and we're all better off. And so I appreciate this conversation. I appreciate you,
He
Ron,
said Florida sucks.
being a family man. You got 3 incredible kids. I appreciate your wife, your sacrifice, and I appreciate your military service.
Appreciate your
But I
wife.
also appreciate we do have
Guaranteed.
fundamental differences about the fate and future of this country. And that's why I'm going to be working so hard to get Joe Biden and Kamala Harris reelected in 2024.
You couldn't resist. You had to go right back to 2024.
God damn.
All right, here's the last question. Would you do this again?
He dodged it. He didn't say anything good about Florida.
Joe Biden should show up to a debate.
That's why
Donald Trump should go up to a
I have
debate.
another
They
20
will.
minutes, and I've got a lot of questions.
I'm happy to,
You want to
They
stay?
will.
Let's just do an
Not with
extended
you.
hour.
I'm
happy to do it.
Okay. Then
This has been fun.
I think it's been fun, and I think it's been more entertaining. I'm sorry to the guests that I've been invited. I got to take a break, though, in the meantime. We've got to pay some bills. It's not a cheap set we built for y'all.
Wait, what's
I hope
coming
you
out
like
after
it.
this?
I think
courtesy of your
more
favorite
Fox
channel, Fox
News
News, and you do admit you watch often. We'll take a break. They've agreed to stay. Well, that's, I guess, the debate on the fly. We'll continue on the other side and later have live post-debate coverage. We are in Alpharetta, Georgia, the great red state.
I gotta pee real quick.
Well, shit, gang.
Hit him with some analysis.
Oh my God, I don't even know what the fuck did they even talk about that round? China. Obviously they hit on China bad. God damn. I don't. Condemning Hamas. They condemn Hamas pretty hard. I'm surprised they didn't try to out-Zionist each other, like, super hard, but, I mean, I guess we kind of knew how that one was going to go. Oh, my goodness. I don't really have any crazy thoughts about that one. I'm kind of sick of those questions from the 3 rounds of GOP primary debate, but I'm so happy that he didn't answer the question about Florida. I'm so happy he didn't say anything good about Florida. It would have been funnier if he said, the Hamburger Mary's chain. That would have been sick. Standing lip count 27. Oh my God. Yeah, they're going into an overtime battle. Gage, what's the wife thing about? What wife thing? Oh, when Xi Jinping came over here, Xi Jinping's wife was with him, and reports were saying Joe Biden just hung out with his wife the whole time. So, you know, naturally. Definitely gonna be your wife. This has been interesting. I am really curious to see what's going to happen in, I guess, the overtime debate, the post-debate debate. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. Look at this goober over here. Look at this goober.
Trying not to die, man. This is low-key why I hate moderated debates. Mm-hmm. It's because it's so obvious here that Sean Hannity is just playing for Ron DeSantis. And at this point, people already brought this up in chat. I have no doubt that DeSantis got the questions and like specific topics beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't even go as far to say that it's like moderated debates. I think it's moderated debates with these like really rigid time limits.
But it's only rigid for Newsom though.
Oh, naturally.
Newsom keeps getting cut off. Newsom always gets the follow-up questions, the overly loaded, complex questions, and DeSantis gets a simple layup like every time.
Yeah.
Like, what's the religious backing behind your decision to ban abortion? What the fuck? What, you're not asking him about, like, all the people he's going to harm, all the freedoms that he's taking away that people once had. You're asking him about his religious backing for abortion?
Justify your position.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole point of debate is to have a back and forth discussion, and these things are anti that. It's you one person says another thing, the other person responds, okay, you move on.
Yeah. Yeah. For being a 2v1, Gavin Newsom's done pretty well, though.
Yes.
He's remained cool, calm, collected. Yeah, the yes or no on like the super complex inflation and economic questions. Like, give Joe Biden a grade on. Like, it takes so much nuance. That's why we talk so fucking much.
I don't know why I expected to give Gavin Newsom one thing. But the fact that they just I thought that maybe they would try to appear fair and throw up a stat where it looked like Florida did worse than California on something.
Literally, none of them
could not help themselves. They could not help themselves, and I am so curious to see how they source that COVID data.
Except for the COVID
we could find is it's wrong.
Yeah.
It was just wrong, or it was a gross misinterpretation of the actual data.
Somebody dropped in chat that they had adjusted for age, which is an insane way to track data for a disease that disproportionately killed older people.
Yeah.
You can't adjust for age and get any meaningful interpretation out of that.
Also, when is the Do Some fanfic dropping? Please drop it on Twitter and tag us.
Renee, unequivocally, I think this hurts DeSantis. I don't think there's any outcome here that is net positive. Maybe he could have gotten neutral if Newsom landed literally 0 hits. Mm-hmm. But other than that, he only stands to lose. I don't see what he stands to gain here.
And it's like let's be real. The only thing he could stand to gain is, I don't know, a party nomination, which is virtually impossible. As Gavin Newsom so aptly brought up in the beginning, he's down 41 points.
We didn't get the boots though. Kind of sad about that.
Oh. Even Nikki Haley brought up the boots.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley and Vivek brought up the boots, and gruesome Gavin couldn't do it.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. My biggest critique of Gavin's performance has got to be the glazing, though.
Yeah.
The glazing was a bit too ridiculous. Oh, we're back?
All right, welcome back to Hannity, a red state, blue state debate. By mutual agreement, both candidates had other commitments, and they realized afterwards they couldn't stay longer.
What?
But we appreciate them all being here
so
tonight.
they did.
Okay, what did you think about it?
They wussed
Is there a winner,
out.
loser, winners, losers? You get to react. Anyway, here joining us, co-host of The Five and former Democratic Congressman Howard Ford Jr. Along with
there's no way. They definitely said, like, get the fuck out of here. We need DeSantis to get off the stage. Yeah. They both agreed. Why would they leave?
That's Kayleigh McEnany, right?
Debate. Yes. That's my first observation.
Low energy.
Low energy.
What are you smoking?
And mine was the opposite. I know you're being facetious. What an edifying, constructive, smart hour with fact-based questions. Sean, one of the best events I've seen in a very long time. So
the glazing is nuts.
Look, in press,
edifying?
as press secretary,
edifying is wild.
You ask yourself, do you have a facts problem or do you have a messaging problem? And tonight what you saw was a facts problem for Gavin Newsom. You put up the numbers. They were undeniable. You sourced them. And what the public saw was the sharpest.
Everyone, please take statistics at face value. Do nothing to think about what they mean. Thank you, Alexi. I'm sorry, but it's just possible to compare Florida and California. The proportionality just isn't there. I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle watching this. It's just going to be. I thought they were going to do like an extra couple of questions at least, but
that's what they promised. Yeah. And then somebody got in his earbase and said, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
get this man out."
And the problem is when he's like, he says, "Okay, we're going to be objective." And I tried to bring this up before, how like you can bring up any stat to make anybody or any state look good.
Yeah.
Just by bringing up a stat or adjusting it for X, Y, and Z. It depends like what the statistic says overall and what other statistics say, so you can get a comprehensive picture. But what Sean Hannity did was only bring up stats that were favorable to Florida, ignore the ones that were favorable to California, even when Newsom himself memorized them and brought them up.
Yes.
And then just let DeSantis get away with not having to answer to any of that. And we knew it was going to be lopsided, but just for them to even sit up here now in their like post-debate analysis glazing and say, wow, what an edifying event. Come on, dog. Shut up.
And it's like the stats, the misinterpretation of stats, the willful ignorance, the disingenuous framing is one thing, but the layups, the absolute leading the witness on all of the questions that he gave to Ron DeSantis was crazy. They had the kid gloves on. They treated him like a child.
Yeah.
So Ron, religious examples, no matter how small or anything, like what do you say about abortion? You can say anything, please.
Yeah, it was just say anything, but
or he would give him ideas when he'd ask other questions.
Yeah, but for the Gavin, the abortion question that got asked to Gavin Newsom, it was yes or no. So you want no restrictions whatsoever, and Gavin Newsom's trying to walk him through the process of saying, look, abortions rarely happen in months 7, 8, and 9. They like basically don't happen at that point, and they only do happen for medical reasons. So putting a ban on that collection of months, the third trimester, would only be harmful. And he's like, okay, so you don't want any bans whatsoever. Ron DeSantis, why are you perfect? It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
And it's like they promised they would talk about the economy. That was one of the big 3 things that every outlet was reporting on going into it. You know what the extent of their coverage on the economy was? Give him a grade.
Yeah.
Give him a grade. A or F. A or F, yes or no? Is he doing a good job? Yes or no? Bidenomics, is it good? A or F? God, man,
for what it's worth, though, I think Newsom did what he could with the platform he was given on Fox News. And I think overall he did a pretty good job.
He had nothing to lose.
Especially because, again, they didn't present any stats that were unfavorable to Florida whatsoever, even though there's plenty of them that you could pull from. He had to memorize everything.
Yeah.
And, politicians, it's part of their job to memorize stats like that, to know facts and figures that they can launch off for the messaging game. But the fact that it was so obviously slanted towards DeSantis is crazy. The only one that I think they got Newsom on is the homelessness problem, which is legitimately bad in California, and has been for a long time.
Yeah,
for a multiplicity of reasons, right?
And it would be such a hard one, even if he had just the perfect solutions to the problem right now. That's such a hard one to optically get yourself out of. It's like taxes.
Yeah, well, and it's like housing privately owned. You know our take.
And the California market is ridiculous. And he's going to do nothing to rein it in. He's doing nothing to rein in housing prices.
Yeah, California is the state. What would private owners of property that are looking to rent or sell or lease or whatever, what incentive do they have to lower prices? They're getting all the money they want. More houses in this country than homeless people.
God damn. Maybe every time Ron DeSantis got in there and Winston gritted his teeth, it was because his feetsies were hurting. Do some fic writing live on stream, win.
Oh man, I guess I don't want to ask like who do you think won the debate?
Yeah.
Because like we're all gonna say Gavin Newsom was closer to the truth. Obviously, Ron DeSantis lies all the time. He has to. I don't know. Performance wise, though, what do you guys think? You think Newsom did well? You think DeSantis did well, considering like what he has to lose here?
Yeah. I mean, just considering who Newsom is, I thought he did almost the best that he could.
About what I expected.
He very much could have just chill on the glazing. Like when asked if Biden is too old, just say hey, he's old, but he's getting the job done.
Yeah, like optically, I think that's the best move.
I haven't come across a single fucking person in my entire life, my entire 3 years of Biden's presidency that has said, yeah, you know, he's great, he's 100%, like he's good, he's the man for the job. You say, he's old, but he's doing his best he can.
Yeah. Luke said, I feel unfortunately it was an optical win for Ron. I can't see it that way. To the extent that Ron DeSantis had good answers, it was wholly because of layups from Sean Hannity. None of them were from his own like spin crafting, right?
Yeah, maybe I'm just biased, but like maybe I'm just too much of a fucking debate nerd, I guess. But he couldn't answer anything.
Yeah,
and the only things he answered, he was led directly into. Very statistics that looked favorable for DeSantis, they chose to drop or include the per capita, dismissing the fact that California is larger.
It was
absolutely
inconsistent.
Most egregious with the mass shooting one. You can try painting California as this awful place because they have a little over 2 times as many mass shootings as Florida in one specific year, specific spot.
Yeah, not that any Republican cares about that.
Literally, like literally.
What are we talking about?
This was so much designed for the Fox News viewer.
Honestly, I think the one thing I think Newsom could have done better, and this might just be my own personal taste, maybe it doesn't appeal to the broad audience, is just make fun of him more.
Oh, that's what I would have wanted.
Like, dig in on the culture war stuff, the Heelgate, Ron DeSantis, call him Meatball Ron. Like, think of every joke or, like, pop culture insult you can think of and apply it to him just to make fun of him, to make him look stupid.
I did really like every time he brought up Trump's attacks on him, because it's like, you know that hit Ron in his soul.
Yeah.
You know that hit Ron in his soul every time that he brought up something.
Or when he said you're going to lose.
Him. That was good. That was really good.
And it was like, look, neither of us are going to be president in 2024. Like, that made him grit his teeth, and I think that's good.
But that's the audience that level.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When they brought up the Don't Say Gay bill, Sean Hannity only said K through 3 when we covered that Ron DeSantis' Department of Education extended it from K through 12. The rules that you can't talk about sexual orientation or gender identity apply K through 12 in the state of Florida.
And that's something that Gavin absolutely should have brought up, especially when he was defending his point about how that's not taught. That's not in any of the curriculum anywhere. We do sex ed in middle school and high school.
Yeah. If Newsom does run in 28, this looks good for him. It might be too early for him to be scoring points.
Early, yeah.
I'm probably going to end up supporting someone much more progressive than gruesome Gavin Newsom. But to the extent that he was successful here, I think it was a good thing.
I like your wife was crazy.
Especially because like the accusation for gruesome Newsom in California is like he's a wife fucker, you know?
He's a milf slayer.
He looks he's a slick politician.
He's a good looking guy. He's a good looking guy.
Greasy Gavin. Like
all I'm saying, if they do the oiled up twerk contest, I think we know who's winning.
Let me look in the Discord, see if we got a bingo.
Oh yeah, I know we got 3. We got 3.
I know we got bingos.
Oh my goodness, man. This is it. Honestly, I would say that was better than all 3 GOP debates.
We almost filled up the bingo card.
Come on.
That's crazy.
Come on. What did we miss?
1, 2, 3, 4 bingos. We didn't get Bootgate. We didn't get slavery wasn't so bad.
Fuck.
We didn't get Florida Republican chair caught on charges for sexual assault, I think. And we didn't get pudding fingers. Like, lean into the pudding fingers. Like, that's
pudding
funny.
Fingers would have been funny.
That's funny.
I think pudding fingers is the most realistic, like, insult that we would have had.
Can't believe we called, like, all of this.
Some of
them verbatim.
Yeah, that's like off rip too.
The culture of life, the military service.
When I was in the Navy.
Did we get sanctuary cities and Hamas? Did he directly say Hamas?
Yeah, he said Hamas. Did Ron say Hamas?
Yeah.
I know Hannity said Hamas. I don't know if Ron did.
I'll take it.
But I know we got sanctuary cities. That one made me perk up.
I know we got Fent.
Hell yeah, we got Fent. I got Fent.
That's so good. This was much more fun than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think so too. It was This was the best debate, honestly.
Are y'all talking about this on next? Yeah, we'll probably cover some of this for next episode.
Yeah, we'll probably run through the highlights, but it'll be the usual news.
This is much less important than even the GOP primary debates aren't important, but these are like, this is an addendum, right? This is just an extra. This is like a spin-off show.
Yeah, the GOP debates are such a low bar, but I guess this is more substantive.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, no, Hamas wasn't tied to the sanctuary cities, which is fine.
That was crazy. They got foreign policy questions, though. And also, like,
they spent more time on that than the economy.
Yeah, half the debate was just Ron saying, nuh-uh. Like, I mean, tried and true debate tactic. Believe you me.
I'm right, you're wrong.
But most of the shit that Newsom accused him of is on record. Like, you can just find it.
And it's like, I don't know.
But Hannity won't fact check him.
I'm willing to accept that I am very biased against Ron DeSantis in this, but to me, the constant nuh-uh, that's wrong, false narrative is just annoying. It's just annoying. I failed to see how that would look. Yeah, but Trump was cool.
Yeah, Trump was cool.
but Trump doesn't do it like Ron.
He'd call your wife ugly.
Exactly.
He'd call your wife ugly on stage. Like Gavin or Ron DeSantis won't even like swear. He would say, "What the heck?"
Exactly. Oh my god. Yeah. And it's like Trump would say nuh-uh, and then insult you.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about that.
He would say, "No, you're ugly. Your wife's ugly."
He said, "Nuh-uh, you need to make that up because you can't get any play. I could get any play that I want. I could take your wife if I wanted to."
Yeah.
He's being a slimy politician.
Yeah, Donald Trump, like the fact that Sean Hannity, like you could say fairly brings up that Joe Biden's old and could be not in the best mental condition. Mm-hmm. But Trump, 3 years younger than Joe Biden,
not in the best mental condition.
Not in the best mental condition, has had a lot of gaffes recently, and he just doesn't ask that at all, even though presumably Donald Trump will be the nominee.
And it's it's also funny him going, well, Joe Biden and Donald Trump should show up to a debate. They will.
Not with you.
They will. They'll show up to probably like 3, actually.
Not with you. And we'll be right here covering it, not talking about Ron DeSantis anymore.
Oh, man. When will those be?
Probably September.
Probably
August?
September,
October.
September, October. Because, elections in November. So the first one, end of August, September, October. Oh.
For 2020, they were September. There were supposed to be 2 in September, but then Trump got COVID.
One.
Trump got COVID.
Is that why they didn't do the second one?
Yeah, Trump got COVID and didn't tell anybody.
Oh, that's right.
And then they did a separate town halls where Trump was with Savannah Gruber.
Trump's town hall was so sick.
I need another one.
That had
so good.
That had one of my favorite moments from him ever. And it wasn't even from him. It's when this one older woman in the audience came up and just said, "You are so handsome." Yeah.
She was just glazing.
Fiending for him.
It's good.
God.
Yeah, Kari Lake VP, no doubt. For Trump.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen.
I'm surprised at all the money being poured into Nikki Haley, though.
Did anyone know Ron was in the Navy? He was a lawyer. He didn't do anything. He saw no combat.
Basically stolen valor.
Yeah. It's as close as you can get to stolen valor without actually just explicitly lying.
The RNC already said they backed out. Backed out of what? What am I missing?
The RNC said they backed out.
Based on what? Based on what?
Man, I'm disappointed that Sean saved them from another section.
Oh my God, I know. Gavin probably had some shit loaded up.
Will this debate become a part of political discourse? People will probably move on.
I think so.
Oh, you think this will matter?
No, I think it'll matter as much as
the other ones,
like the third GOP debate did.
Okay,
you know what I mean? It'll matter for a week. Some clips will go viral. Mm-hmm. Some sound bites people will pay attention to, and then everyone will move on by this time next week. By the next JJK episode, this will be done and gone. He's gonna be Trump Kennedy.
That's
like
not gonna,
like RFK.
So. That'd be wicked.
Holy shit!
Ron was in the Navy. Someone fact check that. I wish you would have hit it. I don't think like an actual politician would be like, you were a lawyer in the Navy, because like they don't want to diss.
They can't do that because most service members don't see combat. Yeah, most service members fill like administrative roles and stuff like that.
They don't want the perception that they're going to diss any veteran, right? Yeah, because that's a bad look. But we can sit here and say like, you were a lawyer, you didn't do anything.
Because it's Ron DeSantis.
Yeah,
like if you were a lawyer in the military, very cool.
And he oversaw torture at Guantanamo Bay.
He broke hunger strikes notoriously. God damn. If I worked for someone like DeSantis when I was in the Army. I would have went AWOL.
The RNC backed out of the commission for presidential debates in 24. I think I might have seen something about that. How they were saying it's like a biased process because they couldn't get the people they wanted for moderation. But we're so far out that I feel like Trump will probably cave by then. I hope.
JJK live Hito reaction. There's no way no bar is making it out of that situation. I digress. There's no way. I'm sorry.
You think our stream will get taken down because it was like we're airing Fox without permission?
One of them did, didn't it?
No, it was just a section. Univision hit us with an attack.
Univision. I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it up for like a couple days.
I mean, if they ask us to take it down, I'm not trying to lose the channel.
Does the strike stay on the channel if they ask us to take it down? Like, is a strike a strike?
I don't know what it'll be. We'll see.
Maybe we'll leave it up till like Sunday if it makes it that long. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. God, it's just so hard up here. You know what I'm saying? It's just so hard
being content creators.
Oh my God!
For those of you that stay this long, make sure to like the stream, share Hito with your friends. Check out the Patreon if you haven't already.
Come on, go for it.
I mean, you've been here this long, right? You might as well. I mean, shit.
For real, shit.
What do I know though? What do I know?
God, I wonder what we're going to talk about this week. Oh my God, Alexi Venati.
Thank you so much.
He was a legal advisor for SEAL Team 1. He actually.
Good for him.
That's my service member right
there. Yeah, Ron should show up in his Navy uniform to a debate. That would be sick. He should show. Oh no, he should show up in an IDF uniform, like that one dude in the House of Representatives. The glazing there is crazy.
God, he should go visit Israel before the next GOP debate because there's a fourth one, isn't there?
Yeah, next week.
Next
Wednesday.
No, there's not.
Yeah, next Wednesday is the next debate.
No, it isn't. Anyway, you should go to IDF go to Israel in the meantime. Fucking get one of those like one ceramic plates that Elon Musk was wearing. Come back, show up to the fourth debate in there. then who's gonna out-Zionist him, huh? Him, Patreon made the wife watch the first half of the stream and like.
Thank you so much, Colton Mooberry. We be shouting you out. I know your name.
That's a list. That's a name that's been there.
That's a listed name.
That's one of the names that I remember when I read. That's one of the names I read. Yeah, that's how you know.
Man, what a night! What a debate!
What a debate!
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Who is this guy?
Any final thoughts from the chat before we head out for the night and take ourselves to sleep? I don't keep track of how many times they've said glazing. Oh, us? Many.
Well, I mean, come on.
But how else would you describe it?
It was criminal what was happening up there.
It should be federal.
That's kink in public. Like I don't mess with. Come on now.
I won't be making bingo bets. I understand. We drained Word's bank account.
Thank you so much for your.
Yeah, we love you. We love you very much. Our favorite.
Bestest friend on the Patreon list, because the Patreon list is our friend's bestest one right there.
Got one of my friends to finally pull up, and she loves you guys. Well, whoever your friend is, welcome to Hito.
That's what I'm saying.
And we hope you're here to stay.
Excellent. Do some fanfic drops in the morning.
You're writing it right now?
I can read it on my lunch break.
Incorporate us somehow, watching from afar.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. I'm gonna be sitting there in the corner in the little lunch area at work, making sure my back's to the wall, just eating my little lemon pepper chicken and rice.
Yeah, it's all non-parasocial.
Going crazy. Don't you ever forget it? Don't you all forget that we're here?
All right, y'all.
Lovingly under Big Bird Titty.
Quite the stream. Thanks you all. Thank you to you all for coming out and participating in this debate with us. It was another successful live stream in the books.
Partaking in the gathering.
Yeah.
Dare we say.
This will be up for as long as Fox News allows. Maybe liberal media will censor us.
That's right. And I'm glad you all fuck with us, unlike all the fake fans that didn't show up. So.
Shit,
like whatever.
All right, everyone.